Welcome into the Canister Podcast, episode number 280, fueled by First Form, baby.
Yeah, yoink.
I got to give a shout out to our the team a year older than us, the 2015s. They won the whole thing. Jordy Fox, the head coach.
Yeah,
man.
can we give it a little shout out? We had a big tournament here. Can you explain that?
It
Actually,
wasn't here. It was in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but there was another big tournaments here, right?
Oh, that was last week. Yeah,
last weekend.
We won. Yeah, our team won a tournament here last weekend as well. This was in Pittsburgh, though. A lot of the big dog teams, a lot of the big dog programs for this age group, because they're too young to play AAA, but essentially it is AAA for their age. You get some teams coming down from Canada and Ontario, and
they're all big.
Coming over from Detroit.
So if they come down from Canada, just curious, before we get into Brad Richards, who's was awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
Are they the same age? Because back in the day, they had like that 6-month gap where they could be
there may
83,
be
84.
for us. There are some kids that are a year older that we're playing against. So it's kind of a mixed bag.
It's a big gap.
Playing against kids a year older and playing against kids your own birth year. We've yet to really play against a team that is just stocked with kids the same birth year. So I don't know the exact
So how'd Ty do? So was this like a big tournament for him to evaluate him and what's going on?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, not every team is like we made it to the semifinals, played pretty well.
Did you get him sick?
No,
Andy fucking gets him sick. It's usually the opposite. Andy's getting sick because he's probably at the game, shaking hands all the time.
I got
collecting
sick
bacteria
before I even left town. I felt like
on the plane.
Shit.
Oh, yeah.
So even traveling out there that night, the first night I slept there, dude, I couldn't even move.
I sent a little Ty a little video, a little pump up video.
He did.
Did that work?
I think it kind of worked.
I don't know.
Probably his best game, the first game.
I thought he was going to be like a skating 5-minute major after that, maybe.
No, you didn't tell him to do any of that.
No.
There is some of that, though, man.
No. Just protect yourself.
Yeah.
Protect the puck. If guys run into you and fall, who cares? Don't run anybody over. That's going to happen later. Yeah. But when you protect the puck, if they stick you and brace yourself.
It's good to see some of these programs.
Yeah.
Although some of these Toronto teams, it's not like they don't take the kids in their air. I mean, they do, but they don't. I mean, they kind of recruit and put together these traveling all-star teams, and they're damn good, and they're coached well.
A little wake-up call,
and they play. Well, it's just different. I think it's like an all-star team. It's not really like a community team. You know what I'm saying?
No, I know. I get you.
You know what I mean by that. So it depends how you want to look at it.
Good. Let them go against some big motherfuckers, dude. Hell yeah.
They build a roster full of
goddamn right
really good players, that they go out and find, and they put together a team.
Then come and sometimes
they're allowed to do that, man. Hey, listen, I'd rather play against an elite team like that versus going to some of these tournaments and winning 12, 13-1. Man.
Even as a kid, it's good to be successful consistently at a young age because if you're confident, then you keep wanting to do it more and more and more and more. Yeah. But sometimes you need to get rocked a little bit and be like, whoa, I got another step to go. Yeah. Whoa, these guys are doing something. Yeah. So when you're a kid, remember, you play against a team and somebody's doing something different.
Right.
You're like, what the fuck? What was that?
Yeah, and it's like one or two kids. It's not like the entire team. No.
Right? Yeah, just a couple kids.
At this age, you get 2 or 3 kids that are super elite.
Yeah.
They just basically
But the kids all notice that.
Control the whole game.
They all notice who the best player is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they knew. They knew, and they should know, man. So, and there's interesting. There's good players out there, so it was good to kind of have that type of experience.
Did you watch any games over the weekend? Did you watch
a little bit? Man.
Did you watch the Leafs and fucking Rangers?
Yeah, I got into that a little bit.
I mean, there's some badass games going on. I mean, there really are.
Well, there was a lot of hype coming into it. Obviously, it's in Toronto, and listen, I was getting text messages from people who were talking about Rempe when he still had 2 games to go before he came to Toronto.
Yeah.
Well, we got the big game coming up here to Toronto. It's like, well, he's got 2 other games before that. So you knew that the buildup was going to be there.
Yeah.
Reaves, he was asking him to go early. But I love the fact that Rempe said no and then went and runs a guy, just absolutely runs him. And everyone now wants to have a big debate. And see, that's where we're at in hockey nowadays. It's like every time we see a hit, it's like the initial reaction cam right off the bat is he should be ejected, he should be suspended.
I get that.
That's the automatic reaction right off the bat, as opposed to just appreciating the physicality that comes with the sport.
And
now,
not to mention, go ahead.
He came from distance, and we all know that you could have, called a charge on the play, and I don't think anybody would have had a huge issue with it.
No.
But to, suggest that he should be tossed out of the game and and he should be suspended. He got tossed out of the game against New Jersey, and he shouldn't have been tossed out of that game, and they didn't suspend him. I thought that hit was nastier than this one.
It was. But here's what you need to appreciate with this kid and why he's getting a lot of attention. Obviously, he's huge. He's got a smile on his face. He's got 2 black eyes. He's in New York City. Yeah. He's getting a lot of attention. But to even be able to get from one side of the ice at 6'8" to the other, to even be able to hit a guy that could spin off you and make you look stupid, that just shows you, man, like his first 3 steps, he's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like he gets around. To be able to hit consistent like that at that size means that you're fucking getting around the ice quick.
Correct.
So,
he can skate.
tip the cap, big boy.
And it's the skating. It's not the fighting that's going to keep him in the NHL.
Exactly right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he can go around fighting all he wants. I said this last week.
It's a bonus.
To me, it's about the hitting. I want to see him hit.
Yeah, I know.
I could care less about the fighting. Fighting's great, man. I love it. And listen, we've got fighting back in the NHL. Everyone's excited about it. The league doesn't want to promote it. Do you know that the league basically tells individual teams, like, they're not allowed to show fights in their game recaps?
I could see that. NHL Network did. I was waiting for that. They showed.
Did they show that?
Yes, they did. They showed Reaver and Rempe 100%. They
so
showed
they're basically told, though, but teams are told.
I could see that
too.
You
know, it's restricted. They cannot, they're not allowed to show fights like in their game recaps or any of their clips or anything that the team puts out. They don't show their fights.
Here's the thing.
Yet, this is all everyone's talking about. And this kid has brought more energy and interest into the game. I swear, listen, I don't want to make and draw any crazy comparison because he's not Connor Bedard, and there was more anticipation with Bedard than pretty much any player we've seen come into the league in a long time. Obviously, McDavid and Crosby had the same thing too, going for them. But what Rempe has done, like no one knew who he was before he got to the NHL, so there wasn't the same type of anticipation. But the energy and the excitement and the attention that he's gotten over the course of just a handful of days and weeks is really unlike any player we've seen come into the league for the last several years.
Besides a superstar. Yeah. No, because it's all like, okay, you got the size, he's got the look, he's got the city, and everything happened organically. It's not like anybody forced any issue here. They both started at the Stadium Series, a lot of eyes on that. You have a good fight, boom. Next day you fight, you're playing against another tough guy that wants to go you because you just saw that, and a lot of people saw that. So Delorier goes, that gets a lot of attention, and then on and on and on. But again, just like you said, and just like we both said for a while, you got to be able to hit consistently. Yeah. I don't give a shit.
Well, that's how he's going to impact the game.
But I don't care.
He's not going to impact the game.
I don't.
Hold
on. Let me say. I'm just saying. I don't care what he does to guys. He could start boo-guarding guys and get 13 knockouts in a row. It doesn't matter if you're not getting that puck off the zone. It doesn't matter if you're not going around causing chaos because they're going to send you right down. Don't have a 15 minutes of fame. You're getting a lot of attention. You have to do little things. And by saying, like, for him to get from one side of the ice to the other, to even have a charge, like, he can get up and go. It's always your first 3 steps. Because, of course, his long legs are going to, he's going to be able to spread it out once he gets going. But it's like, can you get from there to there? And you always said this, too, and I agree. Penalty kill. That would always help you, dude. If you're a penalty killer, he's big. Can you move? Get that stick in the lane.
Well, in my opinion,
up your value like you can't believe.
Every forward in the league should be able to kill penalties.
I agree. Now, hell yeah, man.
Like, you should all be able to kill penalties.
But are you better than a guy that's above you? Are you the last? Are you?
You
worse?
may not be.
My point is,
an option for a coach.
Anybody
can got better options on.
Everybody can kill penalties, but who's the best at it?
Of course, that's what I mean.
So it's like, but like, can he beat out another guy because he could use his reach? That'd help him out a ton. Yeah, because guys aren't going to fight him eventually.
But like the fighting.
They're not going to fight
eventually. This is going to go away because that's just where we are in the game. I hope it continues. I love it, man. Everyone's talking about it. But the Rangers, if this kid's going to be a factor come playoff time, it's not going to be because of the fighting, but he can change the course of a series with one hit.
I know, or multiple hits, or just like mixing everything up, standing in front of the net, gets a lot more room. Like, how is he with the puck? Do you watch him consistently? I haven't yet.
These guys are like, I've never seen anyone hit like this my whole life, ever. Like, I mean, like some of these young guys who are coming into the league right now. Some of the young guys coming into the league have grown up in the game with almost no physical contact.
What's going on here? A big guy that can move. Weird.
This is not right.
This is not right. I had my head down.
Hockey's for everyone.
Although the Lyubushkin thing, that's a fucking buzzkill.
Well, they just got him.
Is he all right?
I mean, I hope so.
That's a buzzkill.
Yeah, you hope that he's not hurt. But like, you better be aware when this kid's on the ice.
Sheldon Keefe afterwards was a little pissy about it.
He's had a lot of post-game.
I know.
Like, angry moments. Sheldon. Like,
oh, here's another thing, real quick though.
Yeah.
Like, real quick with the Rempe, it's like, man, every hit he distributes, there's always going to be some sort of red flag involved because he's so big. Like a guy hitting me or you at our size, although I'm bigger than you, it's all good. But you're guaranteed, like hitting your shoulder into a head, like there's a little more head contact involved. His hits are going to be awkward as shit because of his size.
When you hit me in the corner,
oh no,
you grabbed my head and threw it into the wall.
That is absurd.
Into the glass.
No, it felt like I did.
No, you
but
did.
I bumped into you. No, Andy, I messed up on that, and we have video of it, and we could send it out to everybody. I don't want to fuck Andy's head up by any stretch of imagination. I bumped
haven't been the
because
same
I was showing off
since.
for Chaser. And we're thinking about Chaser. I think he's doing pretty good right now, man.
Yeah.
But I bumped into you, and you just didn't have any shoulder pads on. You were not bracing for the hit. I just wanted to show off a little bit, and I was just being a dick. But I barely tapped you, and you went... Then he grabs me like, I'm gonna do something. And I'm like, damn. I'm like, hit me. Just get it over with. Just hit me. Let it out. Let it out.
No, you said
and then you
no,
woke up
you were
and
like,
you skate off like, my bad.
You
on
asked
that.
me if I wanted to go. Actually.
No,
you did. You're like,
Andy,
you want to go? No, that's what you said.
I already admitted to everything. I'm not gonna fight.
You said you want to go.
No, I didn't. You said it to me. You were in La La Land. My bad on that.
Still am. Because of that.
Bam!
Never been the same.
I'm
dude.
like, whoa. Right when I did it, I'm like, whoa, whoa. Are you okay? Like, he's fragile. No, he's just, it's kind of gutless because, like, he's like mocking everybody on the ice by not wearing shoulder pads. And I forgot about that, and I just bumped into him. And I learned my lesson. And I'm sorry, Andy.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, appreciate
I'm
that.
sorry. Sorry. But anyway, actually, there's a lot of drama going on. It's quite nice. Eric Bolton, I gotta give him a shout out, man. He sends me, who was one of my favorite teammates ever. Eric Bolton, the nicest, funniest goddamn guy. All y'all out there that played with him, man, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But his two boys are in London, Sawyer and Ryder, and they're killing guys. And Bolt sends me these videos of those two, and they're getting suspended a ton. But, like, they're in the lineup every single night. They're winning games. I guess London's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
But they are murdering guys and causing a stir. But they're getting dinged. Like, now, I believe Ryder can't fight again. There's only 8 games left. It gets reset in the playoffs. They're going to be playing in
what
the playoffs.
Does explain, like, the rule?
The fighting. So they both have their fighting limit, which I guess is 10 fights.
You're allowed 10 fights in a season?
Yeah. And so they already went past
What do you think of that?
They already got suspended for 15 games, one of them.
Really?
Yeah, I go,
for having more than 10 fights?
No, just for all added up. I go, how many games total? He said 15
Not at
this
once.
year.
He didn't get a 15-gamer.
No, but it tacks on. But in the playoffs, it resets. So
Yeah.
they're murdering guys in fucking London. It's pretty funny. He sends me shit every single
Well,
fucking day.
hey, listen, the apple
love
doesn't
him.
fall too far, man.
I know, but they're skating, man. They're hitting guys with big, open ice hits,
Yeah.
like athletic hits, like
Well,
bam.
you just wonder, what a guy like Rempe, see, like, what kind of influence he's going to have on some of these bigger players that are playing at a younger age right now, like who are watching him and be like, wow, I can play like that. I can be a physical force and go around and use my physicality and make it to the NHL and have a role in the NHL.
Big time. Now he's taking advantage of it. He's got to be able to hit and get the damn puck out of the zone.
Yeah.
But I think he's pretty good. He moves around.
No, he does get around. Everyone's always said, like his coaches have always talked about, like his skating. He's always been a good skater. Well, I don't know if he was originally, but he's like really worked on it, and his skating's not an issue.
He fucked up Lyubushkin.
What did you think of the fight, though, man? Like I thought he made some adjustments.
Yeah.
And he used what the skill set that he has, which is his reach.
You got to give Reaver credit, man.
And strength too. He's strong.
You can tell how strong Reaver is, though.
Yeah.
Like, I thought Rempe did a pretty good job. He grabbed them here instead of back here, so Reaver couldn't really connect off the bat. And he needs to learn how to throw hard. Derek Boogaard kind of went through this early in his career, too, if you look at all his fights, which I've done before over and over. And then he figured out his balance and punching through guys. And Boogaard started to punch through you and really connecting with a bunch of big, tough guys that really don't get caught too much. And he started knocking guys out. He's not there yet, but he can be. And this is us talking fighting. It's pretty funny that we can. I was on with Dave McCarthy the other day talking about fighting styles and stuff. I'm like, shit, we haven't done this in years, you know. But I thought he did great. But at the end, Reaver started to find his balance and how strong Reaver is. He pulled him in and started catching him at the end. But I thought it was a good fight, man. I call it a draw. It was late in the game. It was after the hit, but Reaver went after him one time, and it was kind of circulating through social media, Andy. But I think Rempe was on a last change. He was probably out there for 40 seconds. Don't fight at the end of a shift. I've got caught doing that before in my career. And I look back and I'm like, man, I should have just went to the bench. Sometimes you like, fuck it, I don't care. Like, let's do it. But he said no, and rightfully so. Get him fresh and go at it. That's exactly what they did. It was cool.
Yeah.
Dang cool, Andy.
I had a former player, was not a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Say something to me about the optics of Reaver chasing Rempe around early in the game. You know, there was like a video of him, like, you know, challenging him. Yeah. You want it, whatever. And it was said almost like, well, like when Reaver first came into the league, when he was that age, like if he had two black eyes and his face is cut up and his lips cut up, like I don't know if like George LaRocque or somebody's chasing him around. You know, like there's like a level of respect that's involved there. Like, is there something I'm missing here? Like, how do you?
I look at it like this, man.
How do you look at it from that standpoint? Should he be challenged like that from the guy who's considered the heavyweight champ in the league, challenging a 21-year-old, you know, who's obviously been banged up the last couple of fights?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course.
I don't disagree with you.
Oh my God, yeah. Like he's getting so much attention.
Yeah.
He's on Broadway. Reaver's like, what the fuck, man? Like I'm the bad boy.
Yeah.
No, we're going, dude.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I know you're gonna run some guys over, which he did.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm chasing you around. Absolutely.
I love how he says no and then runs their defenseman.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? It's like no, and then he goes around. So then he runs them.
Yeah.
Do you think Reaver, who you knew, was looking forward to this?
Yeah.
And he's on center stage. He's in Toronto. I mean, he wants to win the fight, obviously, and he wants to get a lot of attention. Do you think he's happy with the way that he performed in the fight?
Yeah, yeah. I don't think Reaver's is scared yet with him if this keeps going on. Like if he
scared.
Rempe's not knocking guys out.
No, he's not.
You know, like he's just hanging in there.
Yeah.
And, you know, he got caught last time by Olivier bad, and we talked about that earlier, but it's not like he's not proven killer yet, like you would if you saw McIntyre go up there and Reaver had to go McIntyre. Were you McIntyre's knocking guys out in the minors? I know Rempe had some good fights in the minors, stuff like that, and you know he's able to do it, but he's not technical enough yet where he could throw with both hands and really hurt you. So Reaver's like, fucking let's go.
Yeah.
But I think now Reaver's probably like, if he keeps learning this thing, he could really be scary. Just like Bugard, just like a lot of those guys did.
And gets a little stronger. And
a little stronger, like balance, man.
Yeah.
Like when you're that tall, you're balanced. But he does have one thing going for him. He gets up and goes with his skating. And listen, again, like Andy and I said before, him catching guys because of his speed at that size is absolutely horrific. It's horrific for D-men, forwards, and he hits you one time, it's going to crush you. Oh, imagine he hits you, Andy. Oh, Lord. It's going to crush your bones.
Well, he probably wouldn't do it.
You'd turn into dust.
It probably wouldn't be illegal. Like the way it was for you, dude. It was illegal.
I barely touched you.
Dude, you took your hand on the side of my head and slammed it into the glass. You did.
No, I did not. If I show the video on that, you gotta I sound like a horrible person. I bumped into you and I kind of like pushed you like this, slam your head like a jackass.
It's so hard.
Oh my God! By the way, I do see people send me clips on my Insta, whatever, my messages about some of these psycho beer leagues.
Oh, me too, man. I see these
Andy,
too.
Look, what blam! Yeah. And there's a ref out there slashing guys in the head, and then there's another one. The ref doesn't do anything, and not that
those are Leos, dude.
Yes, exactly. Another guy's like just stand there in the corner. Somebody comes up from behind, just goes boom, 3 feet against the boards, fucking crushes his head. Nothing happens. Really weird.
See, you never really had to experience that.
No.
And even when I shortly after college, like during the lock, a lot of NHLers would play in the
I've experienced all
the beer leagues here in St. Louis, like during when there was a lockout, during the summers. But there's fucking idiots out there, man.
Idiots, man.
And they should never be on the ice. And even if you have your own beer league team, you shouldn't even invite those guys to come out and play.
Yeah, I know.
Anybody who can't control themselves in a game like that, Cam, I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen people go absolutely crazy.
I know.
I've seen people get sued and deal with significant lawsuits. I've seen people get,
It's nuts, man.
beyond fucked up.
Yeah.
Surgery on their face and everything, man.
So, Neil, God, who am I thinking of here? The ref, I'm blanking, drawing, Jamie Kaharski.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Jamie. He got rocked the other day in the not the alumni skate, but a beer league skate.
Oh, really?
Puck came up, busted his whole face up.
Yeah.
So
Well,
he's
that's different.
Well, that's just, listen, my point is like, playing hockey, man, like if you play baseball, you want to go out and play softball, you could roll an ankle, you could tear your Achilles. But with hockey, there's a lot of different variables where you could
if you
fuck
have
your
an
face
idiot
up.
out there swinging a stick
I'm not
around.
talking about a stick just got tipped. Just like what happened to your finger that exploded.
No, dude, I took a puck in the face one time.
I
Remember
know,
I
it's
told you the guy
god-awful.
on my own team from his own
That's
blue
all I'm
line
saying, it's
just
dangerous.
took a slap shot. Like, I don't know if he's trying to dump it in or what. I'm at like
That's why you should wear shoulder pads.
I'm at the red line, like thinking he's going to pass it. He just rips a slap shot, hits me right in the face.
I
dude.
know.
It's
We should all wear cages.
11:30 at night, dude. I had to get off. Well, I finished the game. And then I had to go get stitches.
Which costs out the ass.
Dude, I'll be honest, I was a young kid. I don't even think I had health insurance at the time.
I know. Probably cost you out the ass to get that done. So my point is, hockey, man, like there's a lot of little things. Like if you're playing pickup league and you're not that good and you're playing with guys that don't know what they're doing, like, I'd wear a cage.
Yeah.
Don't fuck your face up.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
I can't now because I'm like,
Well,
it's like I can't do that.
You should wear a shield regardless.
Probably.
At least a
Probably.
half shield. I mean, you're not getting paid millions of dollars to be out there, man.
No. This is all
You're going to need those eyes.
We got a big event coming up, by the way, in St. Louis for Kelly Chase. We got a lot of guys coming in, man. It's going to be a nice scrimmage coming out April 5th.
Yeah, there's a Blues
Puck
game that
Cancer
night.
is what it's called. It's Centene.
There's a game that night, Blues game.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
They're on the road.
Raising money for
I don't know if there's a
excitement.
game that night, but the team's on the road or not.
Yeah, so it'll be awesome. I have a bunch of celebrities coming. I'm playing in the game. A bunch of guys. Holly's coaching. That should be interesting.
Yeah, no, that'll be fun.
So pretty cool shit.
Anytime Holly's involved,
Anytime Holly's involved,
it makes the event.
and we're partying. So check that bad boy out.
Hey, can I give a?
Yeah.
I got a couple comments. It may surprise some people here, but so Mika Kiprasov gets his jersey retired.
I saw that.
Big shout out to Mika. Gave a speech. Noodles. Remember when we had Noodles on?
Yeah.
I think they needed Noodles to like track him down to even tell him that they wanted to retire his number. Remember
Yes,
Noodles
that's right.
told us that
He had,
story.
like, different phone numbers.
But I just think Calgary, I don't know what they're doing with like some of their legends. I've heard some stories about some of the, their past president who has passed away. I don't know what took place with some of their legendary players. Al MacInnis being one of them, Joe Nieuwendyk being another. They have like a Forever Aflame program. Like they're retiring numbers, and Al MacInnis' number has not been retired. You can make the case he's the greatest player in the history of that organization. Certainly one of them. Joe Nieuwendyk's up there too. They've delivered a Stanley Cup. They made those guys a Forever Aflame. I think there was some talk years ago about retiring Al's number, but maybe, and don't quote me on this, like the Blues wanted to retire his number as well. I think he made the choice and said, hey, I want to let St. Louis do it first. I think Calgary got upset with that. And they like almost held it against him. So they said, we're going to make it like a Forever Aflame type situation. Forever Aflame. Now they're retiring numbers. They retired Aginla, fine, which he deserves it. Kiprasov, you can make the case. Certainly, I have no problem with that. Lanny McDonald, some of these other guys that have had their number retired. But, Craig Conroy, who I know has the utmost respect for a guy like Al, his former teammate, man, do the right thing. Get this guy's jersey retired. It's time to do it. You're doing all these other people. Whatever happened in the past, don't let your emotions get in the way. This guy was a legendary player. He's one of the best defensemen in the history of the game. Played his entire first half of his career, bringing a Stanley Cup, wins the Conn Smythe, all that. Let's go. Like this guy.
I never thought of that,
This
man.
guy should have his jersey retired.
I didn't know he didn't.
So, Connie, get with the rest of the Flames. Get their shit together. Apparently, they don't even have the Forever Aflame program anyway. They got rid of it. Like, it was like a made-up program. The fans never got into it. Nobody cared about it. So, they got rid of it. Some teams do like a Ring of Honor for like secondary players who maybe aren't quite worthy to have their jersey retired. I think Vancouver does that. They do a good job with it. Other teams do it as well. The Blues recognize the number 7 and all the great players who wore number 7 over the years. You know, they didn't retire their number, but they recognized the Kachucks and the Joey Mullins and the Gary Youngers and some of those guys. So, listen, I'm not trying to tell you what to do.
Oh, you are. You're telling
like,
them what to do.
How is this guy's jersey not retired, but you're retiring all these other people?
Maybe because they're building. If you put another jersey up there, it's going to collapse down.
I think Ken King was the former president, and Jim Poplinski, who is involved with the alumni. Like, whatever the issue is with any of these guys, like, do the right thing. And Joey Nieuwendyk, too, man. Retire his number, too.
I know. I can't believe that, actually.
Forever a Flame. That's like a made-up thing. It's almost disrespectful. All right, Al, we're going to give you the Forever a Flame.
We're going to put you in this category.
Even though you're the greatest player in the history of the organization. You can say,
that's odd, Andy.
You can say Jerome McGinley is whatever. I think people who are longtime fans of the Flames and historians of the Flames and have watched that franchise, I think would put Al MacInnis, if he's not 1, he's 1A or 2. He's right there. If you're retiring numbers, like this guy should have his number retired.
I agree with you. That's a good point. Good. Stick up for him.
Yeah.
Good for you.
He doesn't need that.
He doesn't need it. He doesn't give a shit. Actually, he's probably like curious about it. Like maybe.
Probably.
I mean, I would be.
You think if you're a legendary player, like that would bother you?
That's not bothering him, but he's probably like, interesting. You know, he's got a lot going on, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't think he thinks like that.
I'd be
anymore.
like,
he doesn't care about the spotlight. He doesn't care about any of that shit.
Yeah, but I think you always do at the end of the day.
In a ranking from most people, I think he would be not as much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He would never say anything publicly.
Exactly. Or even hint it. He doesn't talk too much. You know, he doesn't even want to.
That'd be like if the Blues started retiring, like, we're going to retire, like, David Backus, but Brett Hull, we're going to make you forever a Blue.
Yeah. Or Prongs or something like
Prongs
that.
is forever a Blue. But Alex Petrangelo, we're going to retire his number, but Pronger's forever a Blue.
I get you. Or Steiner, you know, who's been here a long time, but like he's not Pronger.
No.
But I will give a shout out to Bennington too, who we love, man. Passing Curtis Joseph. And when Andy and I were young in the early 90s, when they had those sick teams here in St. Louis, like we went down to games. I mean, you went through the same process and watched these guys. Man, I love watching Curtis Joseph. Cujo. You acted like you're a fucking Cujo in a basement. Growing up here, playing in roller hockey in your basement, like I want to be Cujo. He had the badass helmet. Cujo sick. If you read the book by Stephen King, who's kind of nerdy right now, that movie was scary about the big boy dog.
Is that about Curtis Joseph?
No.
Oh.
Curtis Joseph, C-U-J-O, is a shit-kicking book. Yeah, it's a badass nickname.
Cujo.
Hello. And Cujo was a movie and a book by Stephen King. And so all that tied together when you're a kid, because I remember watching that as a kid. He had the great mask. He had the awesome mask. He was fucking cool in that. He had the look. He got me into hockey as well as you back in the 90s, man. When they had those badass teams. Holy was doing his shit. Cujo was a part of that. Yeah. It was cool.
No, he was.
So a little shout out to Cujo, which we should get on.
And he's come in town a couple times for some events and stuff like that. And have been able to like spend some time and talk to him. Talked a lot of minor hockey with him too. He was involved with that for a little while with his kids.
Yeah.
So he had a great book. Doesn't like to do a lot of podcasts and stuff like that.
Well, that's what we like.
It's not his thing.
We had Brad Richards on, man. He's actually really cool. Listen, Brad Richards has, compared to Trevor Daley's video camera, Brad Richards has the nicest camera you could possibly imagine. His white teeth were glowing.
Oh my God!
And there was nothing in the background. Like, how nice was that, Maddie? My God!
He's like, this is the camera you get when you made over $100 million.
He just looks like he's chilling, dude.
Oh, dude. He just looks like he's got no stress.
No stress.
He might, but he looks like he doesn't have much.
He's like, yeah, we rent them now, and rightfully so.
He was playing 2-ball that day. He explained 2-ball to me.
I don't even know.
Oh, you can't break it down?
Oh, can you?
I thought you were a golfer. Cam the golfer can't even break down 2-ball.
Okay, no. He's probably just playing against another guy, and they're probably betting money, doing their thing.
How much they throwing down, you think?
Probably a couple G notes if you're really, really competitive. Yeah. Otherwise, it doesn't matter.
This kid's a goalie.
Yeah. Like, why would he want to do anything but just consult here and there? And
that's what he's doing.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
he's
why?
Like consulting on the Blues power play.
Why travel? My kids are growing up. I'm in Florida, dude. chilling.
Dude, he's had some amazing real estate transactions.
Yeah, he has. Monster houses.
Like monster houses, like
Andy, you don't need that big of a house.
Of like $10 million.
It's not worth it.
That he's, he's getting for some of these houses that he's buying and selling.
Yeah, he had a couple monster houses. Like
now he only has one, he says.
Even if I had a ton of money, I don't think I want such a complex. I wanted something really nice. That's the view and the property, and you could always add on if you need to, but just enough to where it's open and you look over everything.
He comes from a town of like a couple hundred people, where they're like lobster fishermen.
His daddy's a lobster fisherman, hardcore shit, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Going out there.
I met some of those guys, dude.
No, you hung out with the fancy lads.
Cape Cod, I talked to a lot of those.
He brags about
those lobster fishermen.
Imagine going out up there where that nasty water is so hardcore, and you're out there.
What do you mean nasty? It's fresh, isn't it?
No, the ocean up there is scary and nasty. No, it's beautiful, clean. Yeah, no, but it's scary. Like you're out there in the morning, like bam,
like freezing.
Dangerous as hell, dude.
Really?
You still get storms creeping up that way too. Yeah, big time.
Yeah,
choppy,
I apologize
cold.
for being stuffed up today.
You sound like you've been partying.
Well, wish I could say that.
I hope not.
No, was not.
You don't get.
I was like
don't be doing that.
I was moaning all night. I couldn't sleep.
Did you affect Ty's, mental? Like, were you like, poor Ty's probably like, gee, Daddy, I got a big game, and he's probably like, oh God, Ty, help me.
Possibly.
You got to like brush it off.
I know.
For the child.
Oh, I did.
Big ass tournament.
Hey, a couple things that in advance of the trade deadline coming up this week. I mean, a lot of these teams that consider themselves contenders right now, and you put in the contending category. And they've been in that contending category the last couple of years, and they spent a lot of their currency that they have, whether it's picks, assets, players. I just don't know how they're going to be able to do a lot of this heavy lifting that everyone's throwing out there. It's just going to be, I'll be interested to see how all these guys get moved, where they get moved to, and what the return is. Like, there's no GMs out there that are saying, hey, okay, give me a first-round pick in 2027.
No.
Because I don't even know if I'm going to be around. I'm not waiting until 2027. Oh, but I don't have a first or a second here for the next year or two. It's like, so again, it may be easier said than done. God, man, do you hear this?
What's wrong with you, man?
It's awful.
I'm trying to let you talk. See, I sit
back
patient.
Allergies, dude. You're letting me you're just hanging me out to dry. Is
why?
What you're doing.
You're going on a rant. You want me to break it?
You should be rescuing.
See, that's what you do though, as a partner. Whenever you do a podcast, it's like when somebody's rocking and rolling, you have a thought that you're going to break down this trade deadline. I let you go.
You have any medication for me?
No.
God,
you're all right, homie.
I am just.
You got to suck it up for them.
Flushed.
You got to suck it up for them.
Hey, listen. I got to talk to Rod Brindamore for a minute.
Okay.
Can I have a minute with Rod?
I'm letting you have whatever. Go, baby.
Roddy. Listen, I know your contract is up. Do not take less to stay in Carolina. You have earned the right to get as much money. Now, if you want to, because you want to stay there and you never want to leave, then I get it, man. No power to you. But you should not allow an organization or anybody get away with just underpaying you anymore. This guy's making 1.8. He's going to be in position to get $4 to $5 million, and maybe even more than that. And I'm not even saying that a team should give him 4 to 5, but he has put himself in that position. We'll see how he does this year in the playoffs. If they can have a run like they did last year, and then win a game in the conference final, who knows? Maybe get to the final.
Well, speaking of trades, what do they need?
What I'm saying is, well, they always need like a forward, another scorer.
Always.
But if they're not, I could see Dundon, who's our guy. He's come on the pod. I don't know if he's going to be willing to pay him 4 to 5. And I just think that Rod Brindamore owes it to himself to be like, no, I played a long time. There's a lot of great teams out there. There's a lot of great franchises. He's played with multiple franchises. He knows that better than anybody. Don't accept less just to stay in Carolina.
Doesn't go against the cap.
It doesn't. But it's the budget. Listen, a lot of these, all these owners, most of them, they spend to the cap nowadays anyway. It seems like, But it's like the willingness to be able to spend extra for that long-term IR money, you know? That's where the rich owners kind of separate themselves from the pack. You know, it's like
how's their attendance? And they've been in the playoffs every single year.
yeah,
You're making a little bit of money.
I think
Like
people go to the games, and
I think they do too.
But like, pay this guy.
I agree.
But if they don't pay you, like, don't accept it. Just like leave
I know. Well, he might.
and go somewhere else and get paid.
You're preaching to him like he said he might stay for
no,
less.
I'm not. But I just feel like they're gonna.
He knows what he's doing, dude.
Of course he does.
He's going to get a shit ton of money
course
from
he
somebody,
does.
or he's going to have leverage. You're
No,
going to
he
let him
has
go?
the leverage.
100%.
But you're gonna let him go. I feel like they're
no
gonna.
way.
They have such a reputation of being cheap
Yeah.
that they're gonna go cheap on their coach. And he
That's
already
tough.
accepted it. He's already being, paid way less than he should right now. Anyway,
1-8.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I like Roddy, man.
I like Roddy a lot too.
You know.
I just think that if they're going to go cheap on him once again, then he's just got to say
They got to be. I think they're.
He's
I
got
think
to
they're
go.
packed every night. They got a good system
Yeah.
down. They have diehard fans. You know, they got the cup under their belt. They do crazy stuff afterwards. They've really embraced.
They still
the
do
fan. I think so.
Do they?
Yeah, just no one really talks about it
The
anymore.
surge.
Yeah, they're just like kind of goofy stuff. I don't think they're that creative like they used to be, which was like the last thing you want to do is
A
just
little
go out
too
there
much.
and act like you're a bowling pin or something.
Listen, you are right. I'm not saying like this isn't even being talked
Well, you're
about.
preaching. You were looking at me like I'm like, damn, like you think I'm like, is Rod Brindamore?
I'm just saying.
Did he say something?
I want to see the owner step up and don't be cheap.
Yeah, I get that, Tom. Let's go.
Don't be cheap on Rod Brindamore.
No, man.
And if you're Rod Brindamore and
That's your leader.
and if he's going to be cheap on you,
Yeah.
then
Quit looking at your phone.
dude, I got a lot going on right now.
Well, what is it? We
I'm
got
just-
work to do.
Yeah, but
look at we
but-
have to entertain them. You
but
can't
it's-
hide things.
no,
if it's
this is for them.
Is it entertaining?
Well, it could have been.
Well, is it or no? Because you're looking down at that, and we're like fucking
So I'm not.
trying to entertain
I'm just
the people.
saying, if they go cheap, just you can't take it.
Yeah, and
You
he's
owe
gone.
it. You owe it to yourself to be paid what you deserve on the open market as a coach.
Yeah, man, I get that.
He's probably like, "Who the fuck are you to tell me with that?" I'm like, "No, I'm not trying to say that." But
Yeah.
you presented it like that.
He's like, "Hey, kid, I know." you
Yeah.
know?
I'm trying to support him.
I know you are,
You know
man.
what I mean?
It's all love, baby.
I'm giving him the love.
And I love that organization.
Yeah.
I love that area. Carolina's, they're always entertaining every year. They're fucking consistent. They got to take it to the next level, obviously, but they should have some money
Yeah.
reserved because of their success in the past decade.
Get people more interested in going out there and watching. God, are you listening to this?
You sound like a cokehead, dude. It's all good.
Dude, oh my
You
God,
kinda
is that
do.
what it sounds like?
Yeah. Yeah. You kind of have that little thing, especially when you're like
Dude,
trying to sleep.
It's a combination
It's
of
not good.
allergies too.
You
Now I got
okay?
a cold.
What'd you and Ty do in Pittsburgh?
My wife was with me also.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had to come back a day early for the Blues game on Saturday.
So you all flew out there,
All the three of us
and then you flew,
home
and then she.
a day early. She stayed with them till
Okay.
Sunday, and they flew back together.
I was
and
wondering how
continued.
he got back.
Their flight got delayed like 3 hours
course
last
it did.
night.
That's how it goes. At least the emergency seat and door didn't fall off like.
Dude,
some of
I
these
know
flights.
this guy.
So bizarro land.
There was
That's
like
scary.
a event. Something happened on a plane, and a hockey dad who coaches a kid on a AAA Blues team
Took him
here
down?
in town took him down on the plane.
Downtown Chinatown.
Like I think
what you
some
do.
other guys like stepped up and did it too.
That's happening, man. You get these psychos on there.
He wasn't trying to open the door like some of these other guys
even
were.
if you're obnoxious,
but he was
or
acting, he was
creeping out the
drunk and
stewies,
acting crazy.
Yeah, you got to put them down. They always have duct tape and stuff like that. Tape their ass up, dude. I said this
You
before.
can't
like,
get out of that, can you?
No, it'd be really tough. But if you're on the plane, and like I just always think like, who could be on my team? I'll see a guy maybe in some military garb. I'll see some shit kicking big boy over there. I go past Andy and like he's part of the women and children group, and then like you have to assess like what's going on. Like if shit goes down, I'm going to him. Try to get this guy in a. But this, we joke about that, but it does happen, and it seems like it happens more frequently, man. Really weird.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's been
Really
happening a
weird.
lot recently.
Is there any air marshals anymore? Right? Like remember
They
that
should
was a
have
thing
him
in the
at
90s.
the front of the plane.
Yeah, just have a couple people like you know what you're
That
not.
would suck as a job, though.
No, dude.
Flying all day long.
Nah,
I'd be sick.
it'd be an
nonstop.
easy job.
Look how sick I am after flying one time.
It'd be an easy job, actually, man. There's other tough jobs, dude. Like, you know what's a
Well-
tough job is like when you have to go down in North St. Louis and have to
Okay,
like do that
okay.
shit. But I'm just saying, no, that's an easy.
And, I know what
that's
you're
a
saying.
chill job that you're
taking
60
it
years
out of context.
No, I'm being a realist, dude. That's a good gig for a police officer. Just like a police officer going in schools and protecting children and things like that. And I know people are like, it scares my kid to see a police officer at school. I'm like, okay, like, get over it. Like, they're there to protect you. Like, if I'm a parent, which I'm not, and I get it, but, like, I'd want police officers or a military guy that would get to know all the students and be sweet with every one of them. High five. Yeah, they're armed. Maybe you could hide it just so it doesn't scare all the other. If a kid gets scared, maybe there's ways to hide it. But, like, to have that presence there, like, that's an easy gig where you can pay good money. You can get paid decent money or whatever it is. You know you're doing it for the greater good. Like, those are the jobs, like, people need. And I'd say on an airplane as well.
Do you know that the cop working at my school, very dangerous school.
Although, don't shoot anybody on a plane. So I don't know.
Oh my God.
So it's like, if you have a gun on a plane, like,
no, you can't get through with the gun, dude.
No, I'm saying that if you're a military, say you're
they're not shooting, dude.
But if you have a gun on a plane, it's really weird because it's not like those old 90s movies where everybody's shooting each other. Like, that's going through.
No, but the crazy guy.
That's going through the plane. Like, that's going to affect
could
things.
Rip the gun away from the marshal.
Yeah. Well, like,
do you think
God,
that,
you are. What did you do?
Do you think that the pilots have a gun up front?
The pilots, you're not getting into the pilot.
Do they have a gun?
I would say no. Wow, dude, that's bad, man.
It's awful.
You okay?
No.
Do we need to talk to Chrissy?
Dude, don't make a laughing matter out of that.
Am I laughing? You're the one that sounds like Snuffleupagus.
Yeah, well, my allergies, man.
All right.
I don't get sick very often, and I still make it into work.
So do I. When do I miss anything? You know? It was scary for a while there with COVID.
Did you know that
scared everybody? You want to get somebody COVID, they have kids and shit.
The cop in my school, in high school, very dangerous school.
That's another, like you overanalyze, like you exaggerate how hardcore your school was. Because when we talk about hardcore schools, like, they're hardcore. Yours is just like Eureka, dude.
It was middle hardcore.
You had city kids, you had this, you had drugs and stuff like that. But it wasn't like hardcore shit going on where guys were bringing guns to school all the time. No, it's happened before and happened. Dude, it happens.
What do you mean?
But it wasn't that hardcore.
When someone brought a gun to school, everyone knew about it.
Yeah, but it wasn't. There's hardcore.
Okay, well, anyway, the cop at the school starts having a relationship with one of the students.
Oh, fuck, that can't happen.
I mean, you can't make this up.
Yeah.
So, dude, everyone was like speculating because everyone knew who she was. She was kind of like in our friend group, you know? And she would like disappear. But she was like the social chair. She would like last one to leave, always driving everyone around.
Yeah.
Like, had like a nice car. She had the car phone back in the day, you know? Not the cell phone, but the car phone.
Yeah,
you know?
I know.
No one else had one. And she would just drive everyone, you know? And all of a sudden, she just stopped showing up. We're like, what's going on? So we do some like investigating or whatever, and we would like find her car parked outside of his house and stuff like that, finding out where he lived.
Happens more than you think.
They would like meet up late night. All of a sudden, he'd be calling her. They met up at like 7-Eleven and stuff like that. So her mom finds out whatever, and she'd start calling us and be like, where is she? We can't find her. And like, do you know where this guy?
How old was he?
I knew where the cop lived because he actually lived like in the neighborhood over.
How old?
He was in his mid to late 30s.
Whoa. Okay.
In high school.
And your friend how old?
17.
Man, did that get out?
So anyway, hold on. So one time the mom was like freaking out, couldn't find her. Drive by his house. Sure enough, her car's out there.
Yeah.
Banging on the door. She comes out. Her and her mom are fighting, freaking out. He gets fired from being a cop at the school, but I think he kept his job as a police officer. Maybe he had to change different departments.
But is 17 legal?
Well, I don't think you can't be like doing that with your students when you're working at a school.
I'm saying, why did he not go?
I think it's a fireable offense.
It's fireable, but
it did not make the paper, dude.
Wow, dude.
I think they asked for it not to make the paper. I mean, Parkway School District, man, when I was
that happens a lot. That happens more.
I'm surprised it never got out, publicly. But everyone knew about it, and it was a major story, like internally at the school.
Yeah,
and he never came around the school again.
Okay, but I still rather have a cop there and roll the dice on bullshit like that. Keep an eye on them. If it was that obvious, like you should have fucking figured that out. If all the kids are,
I don't know what they were doing.
Like every teacher hears about that. They should have put the fucking stop to that so fast, dude.
I don't know.
That's an easy fix.
Maybe they were just partying together. I don't know what.
No, it doesn't matter. You can't have
they can't
any
be
sort
hanging out together.
Not at all.
Having her over to your house.
Not at all. They should have fucking squashed that from the get go.
Yeah.
I will give another shout out though to some fire department. Did you see that video? I believe it was an Amazon truck. And that huge bridge in Columbus, I think it was over the Columbus River, which is freezing cold. And they had a head-on collision, and the Amazon truck leans all the way over a 120-foot drop. And the cabin of the truck's like just dangling down this huge fucking bridge. And if you hit, you're dead. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden the fire brought the fucking crane up, like, dropped down a guy. This poor girl was in there. I think she was knocked out, man, because she had a head-on collision. And he strapped her up like, like, bam, like, okay, we're good. And it took forever, dude, like inch by inch by inch by inch, and like try to navigate. And then they got to the edge, and we're like, it was like wobbling. Like she's laying there, like looks like she's dead, like, and so all that weight, and he's trying to hold on to her, and they finally get closer. He grabs his leg, hooks onto the bridge, and they grab him, and everybody celebrated. Yeah. Hardcore. Then they got to retrieve the truck, man.
Oh, I saw that truck hanging over.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Where it was in Columbus, Ohio? I
think that was the Columbus River. You see how big that bridge was?
So how long did he hang there for?
Probably a while. You have an accident. Imagine that. Like, bam, you have an accident. You're over. Now everything is convoluted.
You think his walkie-talkie worked and stuff?
I believe it was a she. She was knocked out.
Like she wasn't alert inside there.
It didn't look like it when they carried her. Like, I could be completely wrong on that. But imagine, okay, so you have a car accident, boom, on a bridge. You're over, dangling. You're knocked out. Everybody's convoluted, boom. All the traffic gets caught up, boom. Now you got to get fucking fire trucks in there. And everybody's got to leave, so you have to make a different passing zone. Like, she was there for a while.
Wow.
Damn. Look.
And so
tip the cap, baby. That's why we love all y'all.
How did they rest? Because that's so dangerous.
Besides the guy that hangs out with the 17-year-olds.
They have to really strategize how to do that.
Yes, it took for a long time. And even when they were hooked up, Andy, because if something happens, like the wind's kicking
it's
you.
over.
Dude.
Dude, those are some real heroes,
yeah,
man.
I know. That was hardcore. I know.
Could you imagine, that's your job? You're waking up to do that today?
They should get paid more money. They should get paid more money.
Teachers should get paid more too, or no?
Yeah.
You don't think so? You said that before.
No, I didn't.
I think.
I chirp teachers because the Norm Macdonald clip where like, so I have to have a 10th grade education to be a teacher if you're a 9th grade teacher. I was joking. That's the Norm Macdonald clip.
Oh.
But they do get a lot of time off and stuff like that. It was a Teachers Are Heroes clip, and he started chirping. It's just funny. But no, pay teachers more, especially when they're in the inner city and they got to deal with hardcore stuff. But I think they got a lot. I think teachers are okay. If like you're in Rockwood School District, out by me actually, which would be Rockwood School, which is like the number one in St. Louis, Missouri, probably. I think they're okay.
It's not number one. You
want to bet on that?
It's the number one what?
School district in Missouri.
I don't think so.
Rockwood School District.
I mean, you're saying that because you went there.
Dude, it had nothing to do with it. Like, I didn't even graduate from it.
I mean,
so it doesn't matter. No, that's why the property value out there is skyrocketing. It's the number one place to live in Wildwood.
It was cheap.
Because of the... No, it's not.
Well, no, it was.
So expensive.
For a long time.
Well,
that's why
Rockwood
people were
School
moving
District.
out there.
Yeah.
That's why everyone was moving out to like Wentzville, St. Peter's, all that,
same.
because, real estate
It's
was
not the same. If you look up the top 10 places to raise a family right now, Wildwood, Missouri is number one.
I would not disagree with that.
I don't know
about number one.
It's number one. It's number one.
Just show me some data on this.
Dude, you can fact check me all you want.
Oh, they will.
You can fact check me all you want.
Hey, can I give a shout out to a new sponsor we have, Hat Launch?
Yeah.
Hatlaunch.com. Welcome aboard, Danny and everybody.
Baby, what's up?
Hey, it's great to have you guys on board. And
Jordan.
They make shirts, they make hats. It's like one of the top, hat retailers in the world.
They'll help you with anything.
They customize whatever you want.
You go to their website, too, by the way. It's very organized.
Hatlaunch.com. They're great people.
They are.
If you have a baseball team, an office softball team, a fantasy football award you want to hand
looking
out,
sharp,
if
do
you
your
want to
thing.
have anything, you want to have a hat made for anybody. It could be a bachelor party, bachelorette party, whatever you're looking for, dude.
Although, I don't go to bachelor parties, so don't invite me. But if I did, I'd like to have a bunch of gear from Hat Launch for sure. Wear it around, do your thing. Absolutely. You got that Pee Wee hockey team. You got all kinds of different things. I love it, man. Good people, too. Really good people. They got the Yoink hat, what do we wear? I'll wear that again, by the way. They got all kinds of stuff. They can make anything for you.
Yeah. They are America's go-to source for custom headwear.
Yeah.
No, they really are. Hatlaunch.com. Showcase your logo and brand identity through a high-quality hat. They're very high quality. We're going to have some cool stuff coming out, too, man. They made those Yoink hats that Cam never took down to Mardi Gras.
I'm glad I have them now because I've been handing them out
I know,
like hotcakes.
Yes.
Because I would have thrown them that people would be like, what's this?
Mm-hmm.
And half of them would have got trampled. Yeah. No. I made probably the right decision on that.
Listen, so every brand has a story. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Like, think about like that brand you have on right now, Proper.
Yeah. They got a story.
They got a great story. There's a story behind this brand.
Would you score 4 goals or something like that? Guy cut a couple fights. Took some hits.
Every brand has a story, so customize your story. Put it on a hat. Hats are in, man. Cam's asking for more hats. He always needs hats.
Well, because I'm bald, man, and like I need to cover up my goddamn.
What's a better way to represent your story than on a hat?
Through a hat, absolutely, and they're comfortable too. By the way, very comfortable. I can't wait to get a bunch of ours.
Fast turnaround.
Yeah, dude, they made those Yoink hats in
oh my god,
6
in like
hours.
6 hours, all of a sudden they're on my doorstep.
Yeah.
Cam's like, drop them off at Andy's. I'll pick them up.
We heard the story.
Never shows up.
We heard the story. We heard the story.
Never came.
We heard the story.
And then he ghosted me all day long.
And then Andy's like, sometimes you got to go out of your way. Well, you were at home. Why didn't you take him down and meet me?
Endless possibilities to bring that brand to life, man.
Damn right.
Hatlaunch.com. Hey, I want to see people get out there and get some hat, man. Bring your brand to life with Hat Launch. Check out their website. Let us know what you think.
Check it out,
Hey,
baby.
welcome to the team, Hat Launch.
Absolutely. We're going to have a lot of new gear. A lot of new gear coming.
Mm-hmm.
I like it, man.
Where's Noah Hannafin going to go?
I don't know.
Tell me.
I would say, well, who can afford it? Can Toronto afford him?
Nobody can, but like he's going to go. Maybe he'll go to Boston.
Maybe go to Boston.
Dude, I party with his family.
Boston's not doing too well.
I partied with his family in Miami.
Oh, God, hardcore. Was that why you're sniffling?
It wasn't this past weekend.
I was going to say. They must get down with it.
No, it was
I hope there's fireworks, though. I hope there's craziness going on.
Dude, you see Jacob Markstrom's comments? He's all upset.
Yes.
Like calling out management.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, this is like the GM's first year on the job. And he's like calling them out.
I know.
What do you make out of that?
I don't know if I like it. It just puts everybody in a bad spot. Not to mention, like, you guys are playing.
To somebody about it this morning. They were like, "Yeah."
Well, you asked me, and I'm trying to tell you. See what you?
Yeah, go ahead. I did that on purpose. I did that on purpose.
No, you did.
Yeah,
no, you did.
Go ahead.
Well, it's like they're playing pretty good hockey right now. They're still kind of in the mix. You know what I mean? For wanting to trade away some guys, man. I don't know. They've been a goofy team for quite a while right now. But to be able to go out and talk about that, it's like just hold that in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just hold it.
You're
like,
a
it's not
veteran
that
guy.
big deal.
They're paying you $6 million a year.
You're doing okay.
They gave you a life-changing contract. You know the new GM's coming in. He's trying to set up the franchise moving forward. Of course. It's not a secret. He was looking to move guys. He already moved Lindholm.
Yeah. Just calm down. Sleep on it.
To Vancouver.
Just sleep on it. Well, whatever. You're not in the mix. You're not in the mix. You're playing decent hockey.
How far will Vancouver go?
They got the goaltending. They're pretty deep.
They're not playing great, dude.
No, but that happens.
I think
there's still 20 games left, man.
They've won 4 games in their last 16, something like that.
Oh, that's not good.
I told you, dude. I said a few weeks ago, they're just not like, you can't go from like not being competitive to all of a sudden just winning the cup. And you can say, well, St. Louis did it. No,
they were rocking.
St. Louis was like rocking for years and years and years, like winning division titles, well over 100 points, and just couldn't get past like LA or Chicago. So the key is for Vancouver, they just got to win a round.
Yeah.
And you would say, well, they're a first place team. How could you say that? No, just win a round. You don't want to get bounced in the first, obviously, but win a round. If you can win 2, that's even great. But give yourself some excitement and momentum heading into the offseason, into next year. You got to get that experience. Playing in the playoffs, winning in the playoffs. And then, take your chances next year. You got Pettersson signed now. Coming in just under the big dogs, right? Of, McKinnon and Matthews and Crosby.
But they still overachieved this year.
No, they did. But now they're coming back down to earth. So they could get bounced in the first round, and it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me
Look
if they
how
got
good
their
these
shit together.
teams are playing that are in the wild card position in the West, dude. Who wants to play Nashville? They don't ever lose.
I know.
They just beat Colorado, I know, and then they may end up losing a bunch in a row.
There's still 20 games left.
LA, they got all of a sudden, like every team goes through their waves,
Go through it now, but once you hit like late March and early April, if this crap's going on, it's over.
Yeah.
But right now, I think this is like the weirdest time to play. It's like the end of the dog days where the light's starting to come at the end of the tunnel, and you're like, okay, afterburners, let's go. Let's get our groove on before we get into the playoffs or try to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
But it's just like a down. I'm giving them a break right now. I would say if they start turning around in they got some time.
But it's been a long lull.
It has,
and it's Vancouver, so you get everyone there like panicking and like kind of going crazy.
They're not used to this, man.
No.
They're not like they haven't been. They've been terrible. So they probably don't know how to adjust right now. But if they figure it out, they're pretty loaded.
You got any medicine in that bag, dude?
Man, no, dude. Like you
probably
need to go to bed early tonight. That's what you need to do.
You're not sleeping very well.
Well, if you're sniffy like
dude,
that.
I talked to somebody the other day who did a sleep study.
I don't want to hear this shit.
You want to know what that is? You know what that is? A sleep study?
Yeah, I probably have sleep apnea.
Oh, dude, it's very dangerous.
I probably do. I snore a lot.
That's how Reggie White
Kate goes like this,
away, dude.
yoink, and like pokes me at night. She has to go upstairs. It's kind of, I don't like that. Like, we have two separate like beds on our bed, so like if I move, it doesn't affect her because I'm like, wow. She sleeps like a cat. Like, yeah, like I'm so. We're almost like, I need a fan on me. Like I'm like a monster. But then I start snoring. And it like wakes up everything. It's god awful, Andy. It's not good. If she ever left me and I was next to a new woman,
she'd be like, "What
this
is
woman
this?
would be like, what?
This animal?
This is Sasquatch." And I'd be like, I'm a nice guy. She'd be like, no, I can't deal with
Sasquatch.
this. I'd be single.
Oh yeah, for a long time.
There's a lot of little things that would like come out to a new woman
for a long time.
She'd be like, whoa, this guy's a weird animal.
I got another woman coming at me on the YouTube channel. Did you see that? Oh, you didn't?
Oh yeah? Is it your wife's sister?
No.
Like, is it that cool? Hey, I did see this down in Florida real quick. All y'all out there, man, you know how we talk about them gators all the time. This cat, this is kind of a cool YouTube video, but he might get jammed up for it. I don't know. But this guy took a remote control boat and went to a lake in Florida and tortured this gator. And this gator's like getting up like, blah, chasing this remote control boat. And it's like going in circles. And it just shows how agile these gators are. This thing swims going after it, man. Like if it wanted to get you, it's going to get you. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Check that out. What's it say? Andy is handsome.
With a heart emoji.
You are. You look good on... When they say you're athletic, I'm like, hey,
no, that's
the only thing. If you're handsome, I told you, you always look good on TV. No, your teeth are white and everything. You look good.
She's basically saying
that doesn't mean you're an athlete.
No, she's saying
no. That's where I put my foot down because you look like an athlete. No, you don't.
No, that's what she's saying.
If we mix athletes and we had different people like spotted in there, like some sort of when you get arrested, they see put all the suspects out like. No one's gonna be like, oh, he's the athlete. No,
I think she's basically saying
you're still handsome.
I took it as athletic.
No, see, that's where you reach, man. If the compliments come, just accept it for what it
well,
is.
Thank you very much.
Don't tie it together with something else.
I hope everyone subscribes to our YouTube channel.
Yeah, check
Keep
that out.
Keep those comments coming.
Yeah,
we love the comments.
Yeah, Andy likes positive comments.
Who doesn't?
I don't know. I don't like negative ones, but sometimes they come.
I said, who doesn't? You're like, I don't know.
Well, a lot of people don't.
Everyone likes positive comments.
I think a lot of people that want to get gotcha and they want to be crazy like the negative because that's still creating chaos. So if you want to build your YouTube up, creating chaos is great.
Mark Cuban said Twitter's a cesspool.
It is. Of course it is. Mark Cuban needs to sit down a little bit with his – don't even get me started.
With his billions?
No, he's cool, man, but he's talking about DEI. I'm not going to get into it.
DEI?
No, we don't need to get into it.
What does that stand for?
Diversity, equity, inclusion. Not equality,
like
equity. Which
agency.
Equity? Do you know what equity means? What?
Well, like if you have equity built up.
No, like equity
as equality.
A society. No. Equity, not equality. Equity.
Like even?
Yeah, at the end. Equality is even to start. So say me and you are playing hockey together. And through equity, me and you started and we tried out for the same team. But obviously, with your skill set, I beat you out. But equity
With the
means
skill set?
that we start at the top is even. So therefore, you could be the best reporter in the world and do your thing. But this other guy is not. But he might be a little different than you, and they need to have equity, so he takes your job down yonder.
Isn't
Do you get
that
my
going
drift?
on already?
Yeah, for sure.
Everywhere?
Yeah, starting to.
There's a lot of equity.
It's not good. It's all good.
A lot of people are going through the same thing that I'm going through right now. Just a little congestion.
You know, it's all good, man.
Cold. What can I drink to help me get through this? Somebody send me something.
Some first form stuff for sure.
Oh my gosh.
First form protein. Have some of their vitamins.
A year ago, if I came in like this, people would be.
No, 2
I
or
would
3
need
years
like
ago.
a mask on.
Yeah,
I should have worn one today.
that would have been cool. And then I chirp you.
Maddie,
and
do you have a
then I get
mask?
bashed for it. No, he doesn't. He's from Salem, Missouri. He's not bringing.
Oh, they don't wear masks there.
I don't think they probably did. I don't think they did.
Hey,
I don't think they did. I mean, it's a small town in the middle of Missouri.
I just got back from Pittsburgh. Can I just say that going from Lemieux to Crosby may be the greatest gift in hockey history.
Oh, I get that.
Like, they have so much money.
Yeah, I know.
That franchise. This practice complex, we got to tour the practice facility and everything, you know, sitting in Crosby's stall and all that. Like it's they just have a lot of money, dude. The Mario Lemieux practice facility is very, very nice. Yeah. And it's unfortunate that they're going to miss the playoffs.
I know.
Crosby.
Stinker there.
Hey, everyone like that. They don't even know what we're talking about. I said it last week.
Everybody's like, what are you talking about? Well,
he ain't
why
going
not?
anywhere. Why not? He's going to just miss the playoffs the rest of his career.
I know. I know they're banged up a bit.
Or they're going to make it when he's like 40.
No.
And he's on the third line.
I don't know.
I want Crosby in the playoffs when he's greater than a point per game player and still like among the best players in the league.
And like I get it in Pittsburgh, I get you guys, man. But on a selfish note, as a hockey fan, I want to see the main man do his thing in the playoffs, like 100%. So we're hoping something does happen and he goes to a contender. How that happens, dude, I have no idea.
It ain't happening this year.
It ain't happening.
The only way he gets traded is if he tells Kyle Dubas that he wants to get traded.
Yeah, of course.
Like he's not.
So I want him to do that.
So I would like him just to say, hey, listen, Gino, Letang.
Yeah.
Even Marc-Andre can say, hey, Sid, you know, like, it's okay. I left. I had to leave, you know. The check's still cash. It's fun. Other cities are fun, too.
It's different.
They're always going to love you in Pittsburgh. The day you retire, they're going to, like, embrace you, and you're always going to be iconic forever. You and Mario.
Of course.
Stand alone. It's you, Mario, and everybody else.
Who knows? Mario
Not
might have done
necessarily in that order, but, you know.
Mario might have done it if he didn't get banged up.
Correct.
You're human, dude.
You're human.
In the end, it's about you, not anything else.
Go talk to Patrick Kane. Talk to Wayne Gretzky.
Exactly.
Talk to Mark Messier. Talk to Jaromir Jagr.
Boom. And not to mention, like, he didn't do enough for that city? Like, he doesn't know you guys anything.
Listen.
Sorry. I love all y'all. He doesn't know you a damn thing. So whatever he does, you better accept it.
He's already given you plenty.
Come on.
I don't even know how he ended up there.
Did everything right. He did everything right. So if he leaves, like, if you guys shit on him, get out of here.
Yeah.
We love you. It's all good.
Before we get into Brad Richards, by the way, who's been helping run the Blues power play. I don't know the best way to describe it. Consultant probably is the best way to describe his influence. The power play's been on fire as of late.
Yeah.
They've got, like, power play goals in, like...
They're pretty good. Doing pretty good.
Like 11
their 5-on-5
of the
play needs to be better, you know. You know how that goes.
15 games or something like that.
But Brad's chilling. He looks good. He still looks like he's like 28 years old, you know. He's got a ton of money. I think we said he wheeled his wife in New York at like they're all models up there, you know. Like
Australian.
She's Australian. She probably can like hunt for things, you know. I don't know. They're kind of tougher over there. Like, Brad Richards has a good thing going. Florida, doing his stuff. Pretty cool. Good for him, man.
The Blues have had at least one power play goal in 11 of the last 15.
Yeah. No, they're doing pretty well in that. Good for him. And he's just chilling, man. What a good gig that is.
Listen, I know the trade deadline's coming up, so I will say this about the Blues. I'm not anticipating a ton. They did so much heavy lifting last year. I am curious where Tarasenko goes, though. He's starting to score goals a little bit.
He's got like 18.
Like, can Barbashev convince Vegas to bring him there? Does Barbashev even want Tarasenko
I don't know.
in Vegas? I don't know that. Carolina, they tried to sign Tarasenko. He turned down Carolina. Could he end up going to Carolina now at the trade deadline?
That could be something.
Does he regret not signing with Carolina?
Possibly. When you don't have a shot on goal in a full period, it's got to be tough on all your players. That's so embarrassing.
Is that? They had outshot 19-0.
Like Brady's probably like, motherfucker.
Brady Tkachuk, by the way, has not asked for a trade.
No.
And they're not moving him.
No,
So people
why
need to
would-
calm that
I
down.
know.
Were you talking about that?
St. Louis talks about that.
Were you saying that somebody said that you said on the radio talking about him getting traded?
Dude, I think
St.
I'm fucking
Louis or
stupid. Get
something
out of
like
here. Andy's the one that guaranteed Matthew Tkachuk's going to be a Blue on my show. We play the
You
clip
asked
a
me to
lot.
guarantee it.
Yeah, I know you're
I
playing a
didn't, like,
shtick, but you
it
still
was
said
shtick.
it. I didn't tell you to say that. You just did it on your
You're
own.
like, are you going to guarantee it? And
Well,
I
you
said,
did.
I said,
Like,
sure.
Why? No, you
What?
said sure.
I had
You go,
nothing to
this is a
lose.
strict, nasty guarantee. Don't play me. Don't play with
It
me.
was a shtick.
You think I'm saying that they're going to trade Brady Tkachuk to the fucking St.
kinda
Louis?
said that.
Are you out of your
Hey,
fucking
the clip
mind?
was sent to me.
Oh, yeah. Play it right now. Play it.
Well, I mean, I don't have the.
That's what I thought.
It's on Twitter. It wasn't sent to me. It was
On Twitter?
Yeah.
Get out of here. No one's guaranteeing Brady Tkachuk. No one's saying
I
Brady.
didn't say you guaranteed.
No one's even. Dude, people
I-
talk
so
about it
you-
in St. Louis. It's
Yeah.
actually.
All I'm saying
But I
is,
did say that he probably wants to fucking get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
I would say that, like he's an American, man.
Mhm.
Like they're going through a weird time. Like we just said, they didn't have a shot on goal. No, that's never really, has that happened before in their whole franchise?
I don't know.
I don't
You
think
get-
that's ridiculous.
It's not just that they didn't get a shot on goal for a period. That's bad as it is.
No, it's all that
But
adds
they-
up.
They got outshot 19-0. That's like
It's horrible.
Ottawa would be the equivalent of a team that doesn't belong in the NHL.
I know.
A team that doesn't belong in the NHL would play against an NHL team and get outshot 19-0 in a period.
Even like
Not an NHL team.
Mediocre teams don't have that happen. That's weird. But then like you watch him play, and like he loses his mind a lot because he's already frustrated.
Oh,
like
dude.
it ages you.
I would do the same
So
thing.
that's what the point maybe I made on the radio was like, if I'm him, I want to get the fuck out of here.
Oh,
But do
yeah.
you want to go to St. Louis? Like that's a different story.
No,
Like,
if
don't
I'm
know.
Brady, eventually I want to. If they don't fix this thing,
Yeah.
now I feel bad, and I understand where DJ Smith was coming from, what he was dealing with over there.
Yeah, dude.
It wasn't just his fault.
Fucking, they took I remember them playing in Blues. They just took penalties, man. Like, no, just stop it. Just all that adds up.
They got a
You're
lot of
losing.
work to do.
You've lost for a long, long time.
Hey, listen,
It fucking
everybody
ages
needs
you.
to calm down this summer and stop suggesting, like anybody who plays good hockey here in the month of March and in the first couple weeks of April, don't start like all summer long being like, this team's making the playoffs next year. It's like, especially if they haven't made
I
the
get you.
playoffs for several years. Just let it play out. You keep doing this to us every year with Ottawa, with Buffalo, and some of these other teams.
These are kind of weird games.
Want to
you
know
play.
my dream Stanley Cup final?
What? That's a good question. What's up?
Florida against Dallas.
Okay. Really?
Oh, I think Dallas.
I don't think Bettman thinks that way, but
I don't care.
I don't care either.
I
But
mean, nothing against Bettman, but he doesn't want fighting talked about either, and it's like
Yeah.
saving his.
I bet you he does. I bet you he just doesn't. He
Hey,
can't admit it
I like Bettman.
live.
Let me ask you this.
You know that.
Before
knows
I
what-
get to that, no one talks about Dallas. No one really talks about Florida. Everyone
get you.
knows Florida's good because they were in the final last year. I'm watching that game the other day, them against the Red Wings. There's a scrum after every whistle. I love
Okay.
watching them play. Dallas ain't backing down after the whistle either. Jamie Benn versus Matthew Tkachuk would be very entertaining. They've got some really good pieces. Obviously, Dallas just added a defenseman. They've got good goaltending. I just think two teams that haven't won in a long time. Florida's never won a Stanley Cup. I would sit down and just really enjoy watching that.
That makes sense, dude. I'm not chirping.
What do you want to watch? But you want Vegas and Florida again?
No,
Is that what you want?
I'm done with Vegas. I would say I want
Colorado and Florida. I mean,
No, I would say I want the big boy involved. I want
Connor?
Connor McDavid.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And I would say I want the Big Apple.
Okay.
I want
Nothing wrong with that.
No, I know. I want the Rangers.
I'm okay with that, Cam.
Well, I'm just telling you.
No, I'm okay.
Yeah, but
I want to let you know I approve of that.
No, I'm just saying. I think that would be great for hockey.
Yeah.
You got the superstar, Big Apple going on. Who knows what Rempe's going to be doing?
Yeah.
Panarin, I don't know.
Okay,
Badass.
so I don't expect the Blues to do a whole lot. Honestly, I really don't. We'll see what happens. Who knows? Kevin Hayes, I will say this would be interesting, though, because the Blues are already eating, or Philly's eating half of his salary already right now. And you just wonder what if the Blues were to retain another 50%? Like, would somebody want Kevin Hayes, who can win big faceoffs, and I think you put him with some good players, he could really still be somewhat effective. Obviously, pace of play isn't great, but the Blues have him for 2 more years. He's under contract for 2 more years. What's half of 3.7? 5, whatever. What's half of that?
1,
1.3,
3,
5 or something.
2.5.
So would you take him at 1.35 for the next 2 years if the Blues were to eat half? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm just saying. So I don't expect much from St. Louis, and I will say this about Pavel Buchnevich because everyone is like asking about Pavel,
of course,
and wanting to know what's going on. I would think that before Doug Armstrong just decided to move this guy, that he would at least have a conversation with Buchnevich's camp just to see, like, what are you looking for in this next contract?
Yeah.
Like, you got to have players to replace him. They really like Buch. He's been a really good player here. He makes them better. I don't know if you can just trade guys like that without truly knowing what they're looking for. You probably have an idea.
What do you think they're looking for, Andy?
I think he's looking for more than $8 million a year.
I mean, that's a lot. And then,
and
you've said this before too.
Yeah.
The hardest part of a GM is signing those guys when they're 30 years old. Now he's not up. He's got another year.
I never blame a GM for not wanting to sign a player to a 7 or 8 year deal at 29. I just don't blame.
Some people would say that Armstrong's biggest mistake was not signing Petro when he was in that certain situation. Yeah. Now Petro was unbelievable. And he was unbelievable throughout that whole Stanley Cup run, too. Mm-hmm. He made monster moves, dude.
And he was your captain.
I know.
He's different. He's like, Petro made a comment to me when we were talking when all the trade rumors were going on.
Yeah.
And he didn't think he was going to re-sign with the Blues.
Yeah.
He was telling me this is not going to happen. Perron was, too. Long before they moved on. I remember saying it on a radio show that I was on. I was like, I don't know if Perron will get done. They were like, what? You're crazy. This is automatic. People just thought it was guaranteed that he was coming back.
It was about 70-30 on the radio
like,
waves.
no.
I remember that. I remember talking to you about it.
I don't think it's happening.
Yeah, I know.
But Perron, or Petro said to me, I will be able to play as long as Lidstrom did and be as good as long as Lidstrom was good. He's not saying he's as good as Lidstrom.
No, that's a long.
But he's saying, like, Lidstrom played till how long?
Was it 15?
39?
Yeah, but was it how many games?
No, I'm not talking about games.
Well, whatever.
I'm talking about age.
Okay. Yeah, if you can get to 39,
so
you're
he's
okay.
like, I'm going to be a really good player well into my late 30s. I'm not going to have a drop off. He takes people just know how they play. You just never know. Father Time comes at some point in time.
I'm going to be good just like this guy.
I know.
Well, we don't know.
But he made that comment to me is all I'm
just
saying.
But I could see him.
So,
does he get rocked that much?
Which is why
he's smart with
he used to get hit.
I know.
He used to get hit.
Is he spinning off of guys a lot? Because that's an indicator.
He's different now than how he was viewed 6 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago. He just is.
What's he making? 8? Oh, don't do Andy. Don't do that. Did you get that on camera?
Don't
do it again. No, Andy, stop. Whoa. God. Stop doing it in the mic because other people need to use these mics.
No, they don't want to hear it.
Jeez. Whoa. Go blow your fucking nose. Seriously.
I know.
Go blow your nose.
Okay, just take that out.
No. Keep that in.
Okay.
You go like this. Wow. That is such a horrible
That
look.
was Cam that time, just say.
That was such a horrible look. All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
There it is. Anyway, a lot of shit
with
going
Bucci,
on, man.
I would think.
Let's go.
I would think that they would want to have a conversation. At least know where he's at.
Yeah, I get you.
I don't think you just trade the guy without. And as of now, I don't think that conversation's happened.
You don't think it's happened yet?
No.
Okay.
Let me ask you this, though.
Yeah.
Because somebody brought this up. And we can pick this up again next week.
What?
What would the NHL look like if a guy like Dana White or somebody like him ran the league?
Ooh. Chaos. it would be complete chaos because all the already fans that don't think like Dana, and Dana's extreme, man. Don't get me wrong. It works in the UFC because the UFC was already in that compact, hardcore, think-alike mentality, and you kind of went off from there, and Dana White captured it before it went off and grabbed. But they're so successful, and people that like fighting think a little differently, I would say.
Yeah.
But if the NHL did that now, and they let the guys do what they want, I think it would. I think people would go crazy. A lot of people would.
Yeah.
It would just be all negative.
You'd have a lot of
everything.
behind-the-scenes footage guys would be getting.
Is that what you're talking about? Like,
Yeah.
well, like you're gonna have if somebody wanted to talk like Sean Strickland in the NHL, are you kidding? Dude, it would be about all that.
You don't
dude.
think he would take the league to like a crazy place?
And
he would have like
and the reason why he's so successful is because he lets everything. This is fucking you. This is what you get. You see what you see. We let it go. We don't censor anybody.
Right.
We don't guide you in any way. You could be whatever you want. And listen, there's some crazy fucking hockey players. Yeah, but it would be chaos.
Like, you think he would have like...
That's a good question, Andy, by the way. I like it.
Rempe would have his own individual press conference before the game, and Reaves would have his own individual press conference before the game, and they would just build that up.
It'd be WWE.
Do we want that in hockey?
No. It doesn't work for hockey. Hockey's already established so much, dude. Okay. Like, the UFC was just kind of growing in the 90s, and they took it to it, and fighting is fighting. That's the most hardcore thing ever. So everything else included, like... You don't even want the Reaver.
Yeah.
Maybe just us talking about like this is good enough, man.
Yeah.
But you don't need to make it crazy.
Okay. That's fair. Hey, listen, I apologize to the listeners that I'm under the weather today, man. I really am. I'm feeling much better, but
sometimes.
I'm just stuffed up, dude. My allergies are
like
so
this,
bad.
Look at me like,
this
what?
happens to me when the weather goes from like cold to hot to cold to hot.
It's been beautiful here, by the way.
Yeah.
It's nice to see a lot of people getting stuff
and then
done on the
traveled.
roads and stuff. Yeah, you did. You did a lot. And you had to go down and do a game.
Yeah.
Right
away, dude.
When you're like, I'm like, Jesus.
No, we'll take some
like
of that
the
out.
camera's on you.
Okay.
Actually, keep that in. It's kind of funny.
No,
because we know he's not partying, dude. It's all good. She shouldn't.
Well, you never know.
No, I do know.
Firstforum.com/Cam and Strick. That's the link if you really want to take your party to the next level.
In a good way.
Yeah.
You're dang right.
Level 1, baby. That's what I'm going to have when I get out of here. That'll make me feel good.
It does.
Load myself up with some protein. I got that chocolate, that red velvet cake. That's what my go-to is right now. Red velvet.
It's damn good.
Oh, my God.
But I
almost made you one today.
I get my hydration first with the little hydration packs. The mango. I smash that in the morning.
What kind?
Do the level 1 mango. And then I do level 1 with fruit. Like, I just got a good base going, man. Like, I'm up early, dude. And I can't eat a lot of shit or I'm just going to, be like this. Like,
don't
like
do
today I was, like, I'm dragging ass today. We had, like, Matt Holliday on. I couldn't think of any questions. I know.
JJ Watt is doing his thing.
I saw that. That was really cool.
I sent him a message.
Did he get back to you?
Not yet.
No.
He's got 4.4 million followers.
He's a monster.
He's that famous?
Yes. One of the best fucking defensive players ever.
Like, you find him interesting on TV and stuff?
Big, handsome
He needs to
guy.
put a helmet on.
Yeah, I know.
Like, dude, you're going to fall and hit your head.
So quit being a hypocrite, though. Like, Andy goes out there and trolls around with all of us with no shoulder pads on because...
He's not playing in a game.
Dude, that was a game. Well, yeah, a game's worse.
No, he's just shooting by himself on the
He needs
ice.
to put a helmet on.
Put a helmet
But
on.
also, like, you need to put shoulder pads on when you're out actually playing a game.
But he looks like he's training.
No, he's
like
just doing one-timers. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
That didn't bother me.
He's at the Mold Arena.
Oh, God. It's just embarrassing.
It's a world-class arena.
It just sucks. Clayton Keller, we love you, man.
We're going to get you.
We're going to get you a new ring. No, we're going to get you out there, dude. Let's go.
Hey, firstforum.com/Cam and Strick. Use our link. Cam's wearing a First Forum quarter zip today.
Always. I could hide this and make it dressy. You can make it sporty.
Yes, you can.
I know.
And you do that, too.
I do it a lot. Just comfortable, man. Yeah. I love being comfortable.
Nothing better than being comfortable.
Makes you feel better. Like
everything feels good. Their material and everything. This is First Forum, dude. This is First Forum.
Yeah, looks good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I look athletic. No,
you look handsome.
Oh.
Yeah, you look handsome. If somebody says you look handsome, I'm like, yeah. But when they say that you look athletic, even more than Mike Johnson, who's 6'3", 220 pounds, played 13 years in the show, then I'm like, what? That's it. No big deal. Handsome, yes. athletic.
No,
I'd
do.
say like no, as you know, but handsome. You know, it's all good.
Thanks for that.
I'm just being realistic.
Get the bars, get everything. What are the little things you said? The mango what?
These little hydration packs.
That's what I need
water.
today. That's what I need today. Hydration.
It's dang good.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that.
Hell yeah.
Say hi to Nikki and everybody.
Nikki, what's up, guys? What's going on? Hell yeah.
We got to get over there soon.
I know.
Yeah, we do. Hat launch, baby.
Yeah.
Hatlaunch.com. You heard us talk about
I
it.
can't wait to get the new gear, by the way.
Well, I know that's coming. We're in the design phase, but we wanted to let people know, man. Welcome them to the team. Let everyone know they got this incredible hat company that is now a part of our team here on the Cam and Strick podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made some. We got the Yoink hats going on, but they got some. We got some new, different kind of hats coming out. Excited about it. Just jumped on board.
It's America's go-to source for custom headwear. So we'll be telling people that, but I think they're like all over the world, man. So no matter where you're listening, we can hook you up.
Yeah.
And take advantage of a hat launch, dude. Customize your hat to look any way you want it to look. If you own a business, your employees want a hat.
I know.
Like if you own a big ass business, buy some hats, put your logo on the hats, and hand it out to your employees, and let them represent your business when they're out and about and around town.
Everywhere they go. Absolutely. And they're comfortable too, by the way.
If you have a youth hockey team, if you have a men's league team, get your guys some hats, man. You got to have some swag to wear.
Yeah, represent, baby.
Swag?
Yeah. Swag. You got to represent.
Yeah.
It's nice when all the kids have the same gear on too, by the way. It looks so cool. All these, you see them at like Centene. They're all walking in. They're like confident, like, yeah, baby. It's really cool. Yeah. Like the little things like that when you're young is just awesome.
Yeah.
Anywho.
What does own your why mean, in your opinion?
Don't know. Own your why.
Own your why.
Own your why you do things, like whatever you want to do.
Allow the custom hat to represent your brand story.
Yeah, I get that.
Every hat has a story behind it, Ken.
I know it does. That one.
I've been through everything.
You've been through everything in that hat. Look at the blood stains, and he's got little dashes over here for all the goals.
Been through it all.
Yeah, you have.
When I was in high school, we got a sticker for every 3-point game we had.
You had tons of stickers, like overflowing.
It was like Ohio State.
Yeah, like an afro. Lord. Anyway, check out Hat Launch, man. Check it out.
Go there today. Illinois Recovery Center.
Hell yeah.
Cam is like acting like I need to go there today because
listen, if you were at Thanksgiving or something like that. You know what I mean? And I'm not chirping because I know.
If I was at Thanksgiving dinner.
And you were known to party, and you went in and were sniffing around like that, no one's going to give you the benefit of the doubt. And I'm not chirping. It's a sad reality. When you go to an event like that or whatever, and you've had trouble in the past, and you're sniffing around, and you might just have a cold, no one's going to give you that benefit of the doubt. That's an unfortunate thing.
It's allergies.
I'm just saying, until you go and you get rehab, and you prove to people that you could function again. And you could hold a job and do this and do that. Yeah. No, it's a whole thing. So I chirp you, but on the other hand, there's some realism to all that.
Yeah.
You get that stigma, and rightfully so, man. Hell yeah. You're like, oh, hey, we gotta. You don't think my mom looked at me when I was going through shit? She could always tell.
Well, she was a nurse.
Yeah, I know. And she would look at me and be like, no, you're not right. And I'm like, I know. I live next to him. So, well, then, I joke about it because we don't. Like, it's a sad reality to everything, but, you have to, there's an opportunity to get fixed. Like, I've been through that, man. I totally have. Don't even think about it anymore.
888-743-0971.
Right there in Swansea, Illinois, where we just mentioned Clayton Keller
Clayton Keller's from.
Yep. Right across the river. Chrissy Pondoff and Eric Conley will help you out. They've been through shit, too. Fucking Chrissy talks about it all the time. He jokes about it. You get to a point afterwards you can joke about it.
Those are my people.
There are a lot of people's people. A lot of people.
Saying hello to them.
I'm just saying. We love both those guys. They do a damn good job over there.
If you know somebody, man, and
you do.
It's not just for the people who need help to reach out, and we'll get you in contact with Chrissy or Eric, which is very important to have that initial conversation. But if you don't know how to approach somebody that you're close with, a family member, a friend who needs help, and you don't know what to do because a lot of times people will react violently, angrily, if you approach them and say, hey, you need to get help,
Yep.
they'll flip out.
Yep.
And the family knows that. So they don't know what to do. It's like they know someone needs help, but like, how do we get them help when they're never going to, like, they're saying to themselves right now, Cam, I could never get so-and-so to agree to go to rehab. He would never do it. He'd flip out. He'd throw things. He'd go nuts. Reach out and talk to Eric and Chrissy about how to handle that situation too.
Oh, God, dude, that's the toughest.
You know what I mean?
And now you already, so once you do that, especially to like a relative, now anytime you bring up anything, they get really defensive. It's touchy, man. It's tough. It truly is. Like, you got to say the right thing, or they have to be 100% committed, which is usually never, hardly the case.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's different variables when it comes to that, man.
Different variables.
But you just know there's help, and you know they'll talk to you about it too. You can just talk to them, and they'll explain what they've been through and what you should do.
IRC,
everybody's different.
IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com, 888-743-0971. Cam, at Bellman, you get no what?
Swinging dicks.
But you get flavored water and sushi, man. There's no doubt about that. No, they
Whatever
offer
with that.
you that. They will.
No, they're
offer you
cool
that.
over there. They make you feel comfortable. They got a wide selection of all kinds of stuff, but there's no swinging dicks. You know what I'm talking about with that.
Oh, I've seen it.
Just cocky coming out.
Yeah.
Like buzzards.
What you
know.
got?
What you got? What kind of truck is that? I know you're a woman.
Look at you. You got a little bounce in
Who's
your
that cute
step.
girl with you? I know her in high school. But
You got some bounce in your step.
no swinging dicks, and that's a fact. No, they're great up there. Troy, Missouri. Check them out. They got a lot of
Where?
options. Troy, Missouri.
Buick GMC on one side of the street, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on the other side. You just throw a rock, you're right there.
Summertime's coming
Oh,
too, baby.
they got something in time for the summer.
They got all kinds of shit. I like this time of the year.
What's your favorite season?
Halloween
Mine's
and
fall.
Easter. Halloween and Easter.
That's two different seasons.
Yeah, but they're the exact opposite. I like leading into the summer, and I like
I don't
leading
like
into the
spring
winter.
because my allergies are just out of control.
Oh, God.
As
I
you can
know.
attest to today.
I know.
Whew.
They're not good.
No, but they'll be better by next week.
Yeah.
So again, I apologize to everybody out there. Just bear with
But
me.
I like Halloween. I love the fall. I love this, the
Campfires.
leaves, campfire, all that stuff. The end of summer where the bugs are kind of going away. You can still go on the boat, stuff like
Jackets,
that.
hoodies.
But I also like spring where the flowers come up.
Yeah.
You got tornadoes going on. I love that kind of stuff. I like some of those rainy days in the springtime too.
Okay.
You know. Easter.
So Buick GMC, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Say hi to Danny boy.
Danny, what's up?
Dale.
Dale. God dang, Dale. The heck are you doing, boy?
And Kenny.
Hey, Kenny. What you doing this weekend, boy? Kenny.
Trade deadline coming up Friday.
Yeah.
Hey, Brad Richards, man, played a
He's
long
cool.
time, 2-time Stanley Cup winner. Dude, he was like
Lady Binger.
incredible junior hockey career.
Yeah, it was.
He won everything.
After his draft year.
I know. Went third round.
Yeah.
Can you believe a player like
he
him
said he
went
wasn't-
in
he-
the third round?
Yeah,
They
but
thought it
he-
was because of Vinny.
No. He didn't dominate. Dude, you're killing me when you do that. He didn't start dominating until after his draft year, he said. He didn't really put the numbers up, so there you go.
Look at the numbers, though. He was great at Notre Dame and all that. He was his first year at junior. He still put up great numbers. Well, look, I'll tell you about that on the other side.
Yeah,
Brad
baby.
Richards on the
Check it out.
Cam and Strick podcast, fueled by First Form. Yoink. The Cam and Strick podcast is brought to you by First Form, baby. Use our link and do it today. www.firstform.com/Cam and Strick.
Get jacked now. They are the real deal.
Get that protein, check out the apparel, eat those bars, and drink those energy drinks. Firstform.com/Cam and Strick.
Yeah.
Now on to the interview. What have you been doing today? Like, what's on your daily routine? Are you golfing all day long? What are you doing on a daily
What do you
basis
do?
now?
I actually golfed this morning with a buddy. We played a 2-ball first off, and so we were done at like 10:30, and then I actually have not done much. I'd like to tell you I meant to go work out, and that didn't happen. And my mom's visiting, so we hang out by the pool a little bit today, and now we're cooking.
Oh, there you
She's
go.
cooking. I'm gonna help in a second.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you doing this, man. So, and people love hearing from you. So
Yeah.
it's all good. Which part of Florida are you in, man? You run into a bunch of guys down there?
I'm in North Palm Beach, so there's not as many. We're a little north of where the Panthers are, so like an hour north. So you see them a little bit on the golf courses. Gretzky lives here, so you see him a lot. We play a lot at the same course. Clark MacArthur lives down here. It's probably the only two guys that live in this area. But down, you go an hour south, you get a lot more guys that played for the Panthers and stuff like that.
Did you get rocked by that hurricane a couple years ago?
We were good. We've been lucky. The West Coast gotten killed, but we've been lucky over here on the East.
Yeah, we just had Trevor Daly on, man. He got rocked wherever he is in Florida. I don't know how far away he is from you.
He's on the other side. So yeah, they've been getting on the Gulf side. They've been getting hammered. It's been brutal.
Man. Brutal, man. What about Brooks Koepka and Tiger and all those guys? You see them, running around playing golf?
You don't see Tiger much, but you see Brooks and DJ. They play at the same place. Yeah, there's a lot of tour pros at that place. There's like 16 guys. So there's a lot of action going on.
Are
and
you
got the live guys, the PGA guys. You get the whole thing going on.
Yeah, they're starting to connect a little bit now. The PGA guys are like, oh, there is money to be made over there. Maybe I should have signed that contract.
There's a lot of money to be made over there.
What about the boat situation? Do you know how to navigate the ocean?
Dude, he's from PEI. Of course he does.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, I grew up in a family of them doing that. But no, we actually just moved into our house this winter. Took a while to build it. We got a boat dock. We just haven't figured out the next step of what boat we're in a rental program, so we get 30 hours a year, and that's plenty right now. We got 3 kids and every sport possible running around. So we're trying to see how much we'll use a boat, but we got it all ready for that if we need be.
Dude, your houses are always like online. Does that bother you when everyone sees the houses you're selling? Although I would not be bothered by these houses.
No shit.
The Connecticut house, you got rid of that one. The Florida house, you've got a lot of real estate going on, man, which is great. Is that something you do as a hobby, or these are just houses you buy to live in?
No, I mean, that's just kind of moving around. We're down to have one house now. I'm really happy to know. We down here, I had a place in Connecticut, Long Island, stuff like that. But now I just have this, and this is our home. I mean, also the kids it's their time now, their schedule, so we're not going anywhere for a while. But we'll see what happens in the future.
Are they hockey players? You have golfers, hockey players. What do you have?
I got all of it. Yeah, I got a goalie. My son is a goalie. He just finished his 10U travel state championships. We were bummed we just missed out getting to the Final Four, but that was a fun year. And my daughters play tennis and golf. My son loves tennis too. So yeah, it's Florida sports. You can play all those. We call them country club sports, I guess. The tennis and golf. You get the coaches early and get them doing the right things way before I ever was told what to do on a golf course or tennis court.
What about when he's like, I want to be a goalie? Were you like, oh, cool? Or were you like, no, be a forward?
I tried not to for a while. We retired in New York, and I was working with the Rangers, and when they would go on the road, I could use the training center and practice facilities, and I'd bring him over there all the time, and he hated it. He'd lay on the ice and screaming and crying. And we moved to Florida. I thought we were done, and literally as soon as we decided to move to Florida, get settled in here, he wanted to play hockey and wanted to be a goalie. So good thing down here, they need goalies. There's not a lot of goalies, so he's getting lots of opportunity, lots of ice, getting peppered all the time. Everybody needs him, so he loves it.
They need goalies everywhere, man. Trust me.
Yeah,
they do.
Hey, I know. Yeah. I saw a video when he was sitting in Vasilevsky's stall, and you told him he got to go out in the ice, and he was all jacked up. But listen, like my son's playing. He's almost 8 years old. We're actually headed out of town for a tournament this weekend. But like the stress of having a goaltender, do you stand by yourself during the games? I don't know if you're coaching, if you're behind the bench.
I'm smart. I work the D, so I make sure they're blocking everything they can.
But how are your nerves during the games? Because the goaltending, man, at that age, it's like there's so much on those kids, man. You just learn to adjust and deal with it, or what?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. His first game this year, he let in 11 and cried until midnight. So I mean, and I wanted to cry with him. So
I bet, man. I bet
that's brutal, but it's gotten a lot better. I don't think ever. The other dad. He's a nervous wreck too. He's a former cop from New York City, and so we got a lot to talk about in common, and he's just as nervous as I am. So it's fun that we kind of stick together when we can.
So how are the parents? Are any parents like, my kid needs to play more? And you're like, no, I know how to evaluate.
Yeah.
Do they even know you play hockey?
They're like, who are you?
Who
Brad
are you?
who?
Bradley?
From Canada?
There's a lot of ideas thrown at you, but no, they've been pretty good. I think at this point they'll divert to my experience for now. But that's why it's also good if you're on the bench and your son's a goalie and you're working another part of it. They can't really say much. I'm not really favoring my kid. I'm just putting kids out there, so I can get around that one.
The former players in St. Louis would be like, Google me.
Yeah. Or, yeah. Do you know who I am?
Hey, but your youth hockey though, because your dad was your coach, right, man? I mean, your story of like you won like every award. You were like a phenom. Like when's the first time they did like a story on you? How old were you?
I have no idea. You can't Google that.
No. But did you deal with pressure at a young age? Like, did you know, like when you're leaving at 13, like kids leave early, but not that early. Like, were you truly ready for that?
Where I was from, we weren't sure if I was ready, but I was from such a small area that it was an opportunity to kind of go see what's out there. See, am I that good, or is it just product of being from a small town and all that stuff? So it was good. My dad just said, "Go, but you'll come back if you don't like it. You're not kicked out of the house. You can come back." Once hockey started, that was it. I didn't really ever want to go home because you kind of had your buddies, your teammates, and that's where I felt comfortable. And I made the team, so that was a big step. So you didn't have to go through any of that, and just kept playing. I'm sure you guys have heard the story. I met LeCavalier there. We became good buddies. We were bunkmates, same age, and made the same team, and kind of just had a buddy with you, and loved being on the ice. So we never thought we were the same age. Never thought about coming home.
Yeah. Who was better, you or him, growing up?
He was a lot taller than me. He didn't weigh much more than me, but he was a lot taller. He was a skinny, like 6'3" when he was 14. But yeah, we've been. I mean, I don't know who was better or not better, but the good thing is we had this like brother competition going ever since we were 14, all the way through the NHL. We always want to push each other, or there's like a hidden competition all the time. We never really talked about it, but it always was. So I think that started even back then. We kind of pushed each other along.
Yeah, no, it's an amazing story, man, because you guys go play, minor hockey together. You play in junior together. You guys win a Stanley Cup together. Like it's like storybook, man. You just don't hear about that too often. But like every rink and like every sign in your hometown says like home of Brad Richards. So is it like can you go back there and enjoy yourself? Like it's a small town, so I'm sure people are respectful of your space. But is it easier for you to kind of live the Florida life versus being back in your hometown?
Yeah, I think hometown is so small though. Like there's not a restaurant or a bar. Like it's like 250 people. So wow. You can hide pretty well there too. But Prince Edward Island, the whole province, yeah, it's eventually it's not like I could have stayed there, but it was just easier to get away from there. There's too many people, distractions. So I kind of around 26, 27, I kind of stopped going back there a lot for full summers because I felt like I needed to be somewhere else where I could, not be as distracted with the people pulling at you. But I love, the Florida life's great because they'll talk about hockey, they respect that you played, but they don't really go past one or two questions. They move on, and they got a lot of other things going on. So it's nice down here to hide.
Do you ever think about like going back up there, your hometown, and bulldozing everything and just putting a huge castle up?
Yeah. You could. That would look obvious for sure. They'd know exactly where you are then.
Yeah, like literally the home of Brad Richards.
Yeah,
like
the hometown. Yeah.
He'd have his big old place there. Hey, but you and Brad, like, are you and Vinny? Like, it's interesting because he was drafted first overall. They didn't draft you till the third round, and you were, putting up crazy numbers in junior. Like, it was, you guys already had that established chemistry together. How did you guys end up playing junior together? How'd that play out? Like, who was the first one to commit to the Quebec team first?
He's from Montreal, so he went back. He left Notre Dame and was drafted Rimouski.
Mm-hmm.
And when he went there, it was pretty much, I don't know if there's any English kids played there yet, maybe one. So for me, it was just kind of, why would I ever do that? And he called a couple times during the season. I stayed out and played tier 2 at Notre Dame junior. And my goal was to get a scholarship and go play U.S. college hockey somewhere. But he kept calling, and he said, they're going to come out and watch you. They're really interested. They never had English, but they're going to get new tutors. And they really want to do this. We have a good, and it was an unbelievable franchise for junior. So he kind of talked me into it. They drafted me, and I took off and went and tried it out. It was a lot closer to home. My parents could drive up, every, once or twice a month they'd drive up. It's like 7-hour drive, which is a lot different than flying across the country to Saskatchewan. So,
oh yeah.
So yeah, he kind of did that. And then that was the year, his draft year. And I think Tampa had to watch him so much. They saw me so much. It just kind of worked out. But I think, no one really knew if it was Vinny, my numbers were because I was playing with Vinny, or, it was good that when he went and played in NHL, I stayed back and kind of made my own name and did my own thing. And that helped for sure.
You're like, Vinny has good numbers because of me. See, they didn't
Turn
even
it
know
on
it.
Yeah.
Turn on the tape. Hey, I remember when Jaden Schwartz came to the Blues, man, when he was drafted, like he used to talk about Notre Dame all the time. That's like that's like kind of like the Shattuck St. Mary's of the U.S., right? Crosby and Taves and all these guys played at Shattuck. So like, was that like a legendary program before you even went there?
Yeah, I mean, we went there, like Curtis Joseph went there, Wendell Clark, Rod Brindamore before us. So they were on the walls when we got there. That's who we kind of looked up to. We obviously had a good run there. And then Braden Coburn, Schwartz, you said, there's other guys behind us that can, but yeah, I haven't looked at all the names, but it wasn't, it's been going for a while, and just a great program. I mean, obviously it's a hockey program, and, your goal is to maybe, the colleges love it because you're already living on your own. So they feel like you're ready to go to college. You've already been at the house for a while and you've had to mature. So yeah, I went from a small town to maybe even a smaller town. So it was nice to see Rimouski with the metropolis of 30,000 people in Rimouski. It was like, I thought I went to the big city.
Was it weird, like learning French? Would the coach like maybe yell at you sometimes? You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, was that difficult?
He tried to do everything bilingual, but he wasn't that good at English, but they made a good effort. And then, after, a bilingual player would be like, this is what they're doing. I'd say by Christmas, you get the hockey French, like you kind of understand that. I couldn't communicate that well, but you kind of understood. And then by year 2, I was fully bilingual. I was dreaming in French, and because you're just around it.
Wow.
The hardest part was the bus rides are so long, but they'd always have French movies. That was the only. Oh. We didn't have iPads and all that stuff, so like that kind of sucked because I just couldn't get in. I couldn't get into a French movie, especially like the voices and the lips were all messed up. Like, nothing made sense. You already watched it in English. You knew the jokes, so it sucked. That was the only hard. Everything else flowed nicely bilingual. It was fun.
You're like, hey guys, we're gonna watch Caddyshack on this road trip, and then they put it in, and it's French. It's in French. You're like,
okay, Dumb and Dumber. I remember watching Dumb and Dumber. Even the French guys were mad. They're like, this, nothing's funny. It just the voices aren't the same. Yeah, they hated it. So yeah, it sucked, that part.
But now you're fluent though, man. You could speak French all day long now, right?
No, I've lost a lot of it now. Yeah.
Have you?
I haven't practiced it at all. I could get by on understanding some stuff and getting through a conversation, maybe a small interview, but it's a struggle now. Yeah.
Hey, how old was Crosby the first time you met him?
He was probably like 6, 7.
Really?
We were, yeah.
Wow.
I think I'm 7 years older than I was. So we went to the same hockey school. I was kind of like a junior instructor, they call it, like where you're kind of basically the runner. You got to show the drills. You're out there for it was great. You're out there like 4 hours skating with all these different kids. It's free ice time because you're kind of working. So I was like 13, 14, and he started coming to hockey schools, and I just remember, everybody has their stories about Sid, but he just looked, his gear, his equipment, everything just looked professional when he was 7. Everything was perfect. And he just like, you could tell, you just had to look at him and like, this kid's going to be good. And he was good. He was very good. I kind of I'd say when I was 15, 16, I kind of didn't see him again for a while. We talked a little bit, and he actually called me about Rimouski because he was worried about going to Rimouski. Same thing with the French and the bilingual and all that stuff. So we kind of started talking again around then when he obviously kept getting better and went to Rimouski. So I kind of missed that 8 to 14. I was gone, but I saw him a little bit in the summers, and he was just one of those kids that was going to score 3 to 5 goals every game. You just, whenever you got the puck, you knew something was happening.
So when he was like 6 or 7, when you met him, did he come up to you? Because I feel like he's so mature. Was he like, okay, Brad, we need to talk about some things. When you get on the wall over here, go this way. I mean, he's just like, I look at him. He's never a kid.
Yeah,
he was
exactly.
he was like that when he was a little older. We had like a showcase for any pro players in our area for that hockey school, and he was so good they let him play. I think he was 14, and they let him play with us. Everybody else was pro. And major junior, maybe there's some major junior college kids in there, but he was by far the youngest player. But same thing, he was so respectful, and so he just carried himself a lot more mature than some of the pro guys that were back for the summer. But yeah, he's always been that way. He's the same. Not much has changed. Humility and humble, and just a great human being. Great for the game.
You still keep in touch with him? Like, remind me which Olympic team you played for, like, or played on. Was he on the same team as you?
No, he probably should have been, but I'm not going to argue with the people who made the team. But that was 06. I think it was his rookie year. Okay. 06. So, but yeah, they didn't take him, and then we didn't do that well. So.
Probably should have. Hey, Canada, you still keep in touch with him? Like, did you know MacInnis at a young age too? Like kids from that area?
No, he was too young. Like I said, I was gone from that area in '94. Basically, come back a little bit, but so I didn't know him. Sid, no, I mean, I don't. Sid and I don't. It's not like we talk every day, but if we see each other or need something, we'll touch base. But yeah.
So how was Tampa now, Tampa Bay? You play for Tampa Bay Lightning, man. They're certainly respected. They've done a lot. But back in the day, they're relatively new. Like, how was the town? Did people know hockey down there? I mean, did they pack the place? Did people recognize you? How was it?
No, it was very weird. You get drafted and you go to your first training camp and you're excited, but then you start to see kind of what's going on. Wasn't a lot of people there. Training camp, I don't know, there's 12 people watching, at that time. They had, I remember, the preseason games, they'd have what icing is on the Jumbotron and what offsides are, you'd sell out maybe or almost sell out for the opening night. And then you'd go down to like 7,000 or 8,000 people there, for the next month until Detroit or until Rangers came into town or something like that back then. So it was a little weird, but at the same time, for young guys, like they had no one else to play. So they played the hell out of us, and they built a young group and, they got Marty St. Louis came in there, Dan Boyle, Vinny and I, and Freddie Modine. And we just played, like they just played the life out of us. And, they were hard on us. Storch was hard on us, but we got the chance to go right back out there and we kind of built something. And then by like into the second season, we made a little bit of a run in March and got some excitement. And next year we made the playoffs and it was awesome. And it was just like, we thought it was the best place in the world to play. You go to the rink in your flip flops and play some golf in your off days. And we started winning and went for a little lull there when the ownership changed in the late 2000s, but Vinnick's taken over and it's one of the premier places to play. I can imagine. I don't, it'd be top 3 on my list if you want to play somewhere. The way they treat you and the fan base now, it's an unbelievable fan base.
No, that's incredible.
What are the other 2?
I love New York and I loved Chicago. They were both pretty special places for me. But I love Original Six is cool. But I played in all those 3 places, so it's easier for me to say those 3. But they're Original Six, 2 of the Original Six, and 1 pretty dear to my heart with a great fan base right now. So those 3 would be my pick.
Yeah, no, it's an incredible place to watch a game too, man. The fans get so into it. You guys had such an incredible role, and you're right, man. The ownership like transition before, Vinnick took over. It got a little goofy there for a couple of years. They got Stamkos in there though, man, and they were able to get Coop there and just build it into what it is today, man. It's just crazy. But like we see Torts, he's still doing his thing now.
Yeah.
You think he was harder on you guys then than he is on the players today? Everyone looks at him as like such a hard ass, but I would imagine like he's probably even chilled out a little bit since when you had him.
I think I'm not in the rooms, but it sounds like he even says it. He says he can't do some of the things he used to with the kids and the way they react and mistakes and all that stuff. I mean, the game is different too. I don't know, Cam, when you came in the league, but we didn't have D-men down below the goal line in the offensive zone. Maybe Dan Boyle the odd time, but like D-men played D. They stood beside the goalies and whacked you and cross-checked you, and there was a little bit of that. But early 2000s, it was a different world. So I think he wouldn't last if he was trying to coach like that. Now it's just a different game. So there's a lot more wide open. There's a lot more puck possession, all that stuff. So I don't know how he is. I would imagine the training camps are still miserable, but they were miserable, but they were really good for us because we pretty much were worried about them starting July 15th. So we were in the best shape, and we worked out like crazy because we did not want to be made a fool of in that training camp. And he was a genius that way, knowing he had us on our edge of our seats early in the summer. No one was taking too long a vacation. So, but he was great. He was great for a young team, especially us. He sets a tone, gets the room to be professional right away. And that's the one thing no matter what team he's going to, they're going to play like pros and act like pros and train like pros right away. He'll never go off that. I just don't know. I don't know what he's doing on the bench in the locker room, but there were some pretty miserable times with him that you wondered why you played the sport. But then when you end up winning with him, you kind of like, you crave it. You want that structure and you want that, all that stuff that he brings. You kind of miss it when you don't have it around.
Well, what's the difference in training camp? Like, what did he do different? Like something specific that he would do that maybe other coaches wouldn't do in certain training camps that you've been to? That you're like rolling your eyes like, oh God.
Yeah. Then to start when he took over halfway through my rookie year, he basically started having training camp with 3 games left in the season. He started doing his training camp. We didn't know what was going on, but we were doing like 3-mile runs in between games. And then we did this 3-lap test that we had to do 6 times 3-lap sprints with only like 2-to-1 ratio of rest. And then we had to do 15 laps hard as we could 3 times. But we were doing this in between the last 3 games, and we couldn't figure out what was going on. And then he just kind of had a meeting with us at the end of the year and gave us all our times and said, like, you guys are not in good shape. I took over. It was pathetic. These are your times. They better be way better when we get back. You just saw what we're doing. So when we got back, first 2 days is just all that. There was no pucks. It was just testing. And so you do the 3-lap test, and it doesn't sound like much, but you do 3 laps hard as you can, him yelling, no drafting, 2-to-1 rest. By the time the 6th set of 3 laps, your legs are pretty much shot. And that night you had to go to the track and do a 3-mile run in Tampa. It's 90 degrees. And, he's watching everything. And then the next morning you do the 15-lap test. And then you start scrimmaging. And then after the scrimmages, you do the testing again every day for like a week. So you were in the best shape going into it. The first camp, we probably weren't because we didn't realize it was going to be that hard. But the next year's, you started doing those testing. Like I said, July 15th, you'd start doing the testing because you just couldn't look like a fool. And there'd be guys come in there that never did it before, and they were exposed right away, and you felt bad for them. But if you just weren't ready for it, and I know he still does all that, but I think these guys now know the reputation of training camp. So I'm pretty sure they're prepared for it. Our first couple times we weren't really prepared for it. It kind of shocked us. So it was, I remember Marty St. Louis was puking on the bench when we were the first group, and it was 9/11, and our GM came out to tell us what was going on because we were the first group to go face the media and kind of let us know what's going on in the world, so we don't go into this. Marty couldn't get through the meeting on the ice because he was puking on the bench. That was our first time we did that test. And Marty's a pretty good athlete, so it got us all at some point. But then we knew what we were doing, and we always have good starts. We're always we played an up tempo game, and he loved using that as the reason why. So that's what we did.
You got bagged, and all of a sudden you have to go on stage and get asked about terrorism, and you're like,
pretty
oh
much.
God.
Yeah. Well, there wasn't any stages in Tampa. We probably only had 2 media people at that practice.
That's true.
It's a little different now.
Yeah, man, a little different now.
A little different.
You go to New York, though, and, like, in the playoffs, man, like, when he scratched you for those games, like, what was that interaction like with you? I know it came full circle, and you had a great run the following year, and you got to the Stanley Cup final, but at that time, man, you signed a big contract, you come there, and he scratches you in the postseason. It was like a big deal. I remember the press conference when he kind of went crazy talking about it. He was kind of having your back, but I don't know, it just seemed like an odd situation you just don't typically see too often with a guy coming in with your type of contract and background. So what was that interaction like with him when he told you weren't going to play?
We didn't really have much interaction there. I mean, you could feel it coming. I was a mess mentally. I just wasn't playing good at all. I didn't probably help the situation mentally, like got in my own way and made it a lot easier for him to scratch me, but I was useless at that point anyway. So put me on the 4th line or in the stands. We were down 3-0, I think it was, going, against Boston. So it was tough. I had a tough year that year. It was, the lockout was going on. We committed a lockout. It felt all right. I didn't feel that bad, but as the season went, we weren't playing. We weren't playing to the expectations, and there was a lot of different stuff. We kind of finished the year good, and I thought, all right, we got playoffs, get this behind me. And I don't know, by the 3rd game of playoffs, it was like couldn't feel my stick, couldn't feel my hands. It was gone again. I was like, what the hell? So he had to coach his team. It's not like I was out there playing good and doing something stupid. I wasn't playing good, so. I never wanted to be scratched, but it is what it is, and we moved on. And luckily, next year got a chance to win a cup.
So you've been through a couple lockouts, but the first lockout must have really helped you when they got rid of all that hooking and clutching, and you're probably going out there and you're like, "Damn, I'm free. No one's hooking me. I don't have a guy skiing behind me." That must have been nice.
A lot of skiing. A lot of skiing. I mean,
awful.
Game 7. We won in 04 before the lockout. Game 7, I think the shots were 19-18 for the whole game. If you look at it, and like that was the first period of the preseason game. The next time we committed a lockout, it was like, it was like you're just circling around. It was so fun, and power plays, and you were just you had the puck a lot more, and you had time, and a lot different. Although in a weird way, some of it took us a while because it kind of like didn't make sense for a little bit because we were so used to, feeling a guy on you or even being able to grab a guy, like, give him the can opener. If you got beat, you'd still go do that. And like, gosh, penalty, it took a while because you did learn how to play that game that way it was. I wasn't a big guy, but you learned how to use your stick or water ski or interfere or whatever that could help you. But yeah, it was a big change. And then I think the biggest change, there's so many more power plays. You really had to, I think the league now, you look at the league now, if you don't have a good power play, I mean, the power play in Tampa, like they're running at 30%, I think. I mean, if we used to run at 15%, you'd be like in a really good spot. So, you can game plan more. There's more of it. There's more video on it. And we never spent, before that lockout, we never spent near as much time like game planning, set plays, and all that stuff. It was just kind of like bang it at the net, have a guy in front of the net. There'll be rebounds, stuff like get open, stuff like that.
Man, it's like watching a completely different game when you go back and watch highlights. Hey, listen, Brad, when you signed your contract in New York, like I remember like covering it. It was like round the clock coverage. Like the Canadian like news channels are hanging out outside of Newport Sports like headquarters. They're reporting live. And you didn't sign on the first day. I remember like it kept getting to the second day and the third day. And it's like, where is he? Is he going to sign today? Like, were you aware of how big of a news story this had become? And like, were you inside the building? And were you guys like, take me on the inside? Like, were you watching the news coverage of everyone just like anticipating, like on the edge of their seat, wondering where you were going to end up?
I mean, the first day it started at noon. I think I had meetings like for, and I don't, they changed it, which I think is good, where you can talk to people now. But like, it was a little overwhelming. I had two really good. I had lots of, like, not lots, but like I probably had 5 legit teams that you could have went to.
Yeah.
But LA and New York were like really, like, I didn't know what to do, and you can't talk to them until noon. So then you got to make a life decision between noon and 12:05. Are you going to go to LA and live? Are you going to go to New York? Or what team? Like, do you talk to the coaches? Like, I always thought it was kind of a weird way. So my idea, I didn't think it was going to turn into that. But I just told my agent, I have relatives in Toronto, and I said, how about I just fly up there and I'll hang with them, and maybe I can get a little time to talk to someone and get a feel of the coaches. I knew Torts. So I knew that coach, but I didn't know, like, I didn't know where they practiced. I didn't, there's this little stuff that would be nice to know what's going on. Where did players live? LA, I didn't know anybody there. So Toronto was there at a meeting. So that first day, there was a lot of that going on. So I don't really remember anything, but all of a sudden it was like 7:00 at night. And I was just like, I'd like a night to kind of digest this with my family and my parents. And I woke up the next morning and we figured it out. But it was just that's just kind of the way it went. I just was kind of hoping, I signed after that free agency Chicago, but we were allowed to talk, I think 5 days before. I'd already talked to Quenneville. I'd already talked to Taze. You could do it all before the deadline or whatever. And I wasn't near as sought after then, but at least like I had an idea what I was getting into. So that was it was a big, at that point, it was probably, I thought, my last contract ever. Signed a 9-year deal. I was 30, 31. So it was kind of a big choice. So I just kind of wanted to take my time and they probably didn't want that, the teams, but I kind of thought I owed it to myself to figure out what the best place was.
Were they like following you to your car? Like when you left the building? Like, Brad, have you made a decision?
Bradley,
where are you playing?
Talk to me.
I can't remember all that stuff, but I think there was people waiting. I was like, what? Yeah, why are they still out here? I think someone from the office said he'll talk in the morning, or he'll make his mind up tomorrow morning or something. So.
They're like, in that building behind us, Brad Richards is in there right now trying to make a decision.
It's so dumb.
It was so funny, man. I mean, and then now, it's only gotten bigger and bigger. But, all right, the compliance buyout, did that catch you off guard? Like, I don't think a lot of people saw that come. I guess maybe there were some rumors of it, and, each team was allowed some cap relief through these compliance buyouts coming out of the lockout. So that's why it happened. But was that a relief for you? Were you ready to? Were you wanting to turn the page from New York, or were you pissed off? How'd you handle that?
No, I think that I pretty much negotiated. I was in the PA meetings and watching it all go down and seeing I pretty much knew while I was in the meetings that this is probably going to be me, because they want to take when I signed. To be honest, I signed at my first 6 years were going to take me to 37. And the last 3 years were $1 million a year. So the first 6 years were most of the contract. Yeah. And basically I was like, well, I'll retire if I'm not bad and my cap hit's that big. Like, you're playing, $1 million a year is still enough, but I would have got all my money pretty much. So like, unless you really needed me, or if I'm not bad, or why would I bother being around? I'm in my late 30s. So that was kind of like the way you could circumvent the cap, which is why they got rid of it. So when the compliance buyout came in, if they didn't buy me out and I retired, they got like triple that cap hit against them as a penalty. So it didn't make any sense for them not to do it, unless they thought I was going to play until I was 40, which, there was no way I was going to be able to do that. So that was, I knew it was coming. We went to the Stanley Cup final, and, it would have been nicer to win it and then have that happen, losing to the Kings in the final, and then 4 days later going in and you're bought out. But at the same time, it's not like financially it wasn't a bad thing at all. You go play for another team, and got to go play for Chicago and win, and that was a great experience. But no, it was kind of written in the stars. It wasn't a shock. You kind of knew they'd be stupid not to get that off their books in case there was this huge penalty down the road.
I mean, what a good decision that is to go to Chicago. Original 6. And I'm just looking up your highlights. You have so many of them. But to play at Game 6, you're cruising down. You're with Sod and Kaner, and he drops that puck to you, and you're acting like you're going to shoot it. And you're like, what's up, what's up, what's up? And you slide it over to Kaner for the one-timer. No look, baby. Kaner scores on the one-timer. He goes crazy. You basically sealed the deal. I think there's like 3.5 minutes left of that game. You're up 3-2 in the series. Like,
what a feeling.
What a feeling that is.
In that building.
Yeah,
in that building, baby.
In that building, and I was always more of a passer, but the pass it to Kaner in Chicago for a big goal, the building is always going to go nuts for him. So it was great. It was a really cool, special experience going to not just Chicago, but their third win in 6 years or 5 years, whatever it was, and that caliber of team. The players I got to play with that year was pretty cool. To be around. Someone younger than me, or someone like Hossa, where I played against most of my career, and get to see how they do things. And it was really cool. It was a year, but it was a great year.
How great was that team? I mean, you won a cup, obviously, in Tampa, too, but I feel like that Chicago team, and you played against that Kings team, too, man, that won a couple. It was like them in Chicago alternating years. Yeah. That was a hell of a team, too. I'm curious, like, your take of how good that team was. But the Chicago team, just to be a part of it, like, they were as good. I mean, I don't want to compare that to the Tampa Bay team, but that was next level, right? Just in terms of that group of players you were playing with.
Yeah, well, I mean, a big difference is that was their third one, so they were more known. When we won Tampa, we were like literally like no one really knew who the hell we were. We were like, we weren't supposed to win anything. So total different feeling. We were kind of playing with house money in Tampa. Chicago was the whole year. The first time I think, I've been on some good teams, or the first time, like, the whole year was just cup only. Like, there was no, you were allowed to talk about it. Like, usually it's like, oh, don't talk about the playoffs. Don't talk about the Stanley. Like, this was like, there was only one reason we're coming to the rink, and it's building towards winning a Stanley Cup. No one really cared about the regular season. Like, it just wasn't. And as soon as playoffs started, it was like a different animal. And you could see the veteran kind of like they'd been there before, and they just turned the page, and it was like a whole new team. I remember Nashville played us really well in the first series, but just big goals like Duncan Keith, an overtime goal in the first game, double overtime, I think, and they could just settled us. And it was just like big players, big goals all the time. We swept Minnesota the next round, and the Anaheim series, complete war. We had to come back and win game 6 and 7, but never panicked. It's just impressive to be around. They've been there so much. They lost to LA the year before in game 7 in overtime to go to the finals. So really it's like 4 runs in 5 years they've been on. So it was just a different feel in that locker room, like a lot more business, like we got this type of feel.
I love that Tampa Bay team too. Don't get me wrong. I really did, man. But hey, what'd you think of Quenneville? You like playing for Quenneville?
Love Coach Q. Yeah, he was great. I think he was very, I was there probably his 6th, 7th year, or maybe 8th year. I don't know what it was, but you could tell he was smart because he didn't, he wasn't in their face. He was kind of scarce. I think he knew the room had seen enough of them where they knew what they wanted. They knew what he wanted. And he let the room really kind of handle things for the most part. And I thought he was really good on the bench, reading a game, reading who's in the game. He was really good at other coaches' matchups. And he'd mess with guys, but he knew his team would buy into whatever was going to go on that night. So it was it was a well-oiled machine.
Was Kane the best player you ever played with?
I mean, in a regular. I was lucky to play with Mario in a World Cup, so I always say Mario is the best. Those guys like Sakic but as far as like a team I played on in NHL, I'd have to say him and Marty St. Louis would be 2 guys I'd put them right there pretty much together. A little different, obviously, but both right wingers and both smaller and both love the game and fun to play with.
Who had bigger legs?
Marty for sure.
Just asking.
That's a no-brainer.
No shit. Monster.
Dude, he was great when he came on with us too, man.
Yeah,
I love
cool.
Marty St. Louis.
Hell yeah.
I hope they're able to get that thing going in Montreal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just
we're rooting for him.
Maybe you.
Yeah.
That'd be like you coming out and coach. You could coach your 11-year-old. You're running the D. You should be, and then you could be coaching the Lightning like next year.
No shit. No shit, man.
If Coop were to run, like, well,
Yeah.
you know what? You want to
There
be
you
a
go.
coach one day? You want to be an NHL coach or no?
Not in my plans. No, not.
What do you want to
I'd
do?
never say never. It's not in my plans. I actually enjoyed. Now it's a little different. You know, COVID hit and all that. I was enjoying it. I was work. Jeff Gordon hired me in New York to kind of like work in management and shadow him and do some stuff like that. I enjoyed that. I think that would fit me more than being on the bench and coaching every day. But both of them, at my point in my life with my kids, that's just not really possible right now. And then, like I said, COVID hit, and I moved to Florida, and the whole bubble and all that stuff. It just didn't make sense to stay on with the Rangers. But yeah, this is working, doing a little bit with the Blues. It's not on the bench and all that, but it's fun. I still love the game and want to be around the game. So stuff like that fits me right now with my schedule with the kids.
Hey, how'd that come about? Like, who did you know Army? Like, did he just reach out to you? Like, how'd that come about for you to start helping out the Blues?
More Tim Taylor, who I played with in Tampa. He's he's pretty high up in management now with Army, and so I don't. They had obviously had been talking about something, and Tim called me and asked me if I'd be interested in doing something like that. So
what do you do as a consultant? Like, you watch every game. I mean, do you like diagram plans and like talk to the coach, or like how do you handle that?
I mean, I've talked. I went on one trip with them just to get to know the staff and the new coach. But I talked to Otter. We bounce stuff off each other. I played with Otter. So sometimes it's just something new ideas. But I think that it's more the players eventually are going to have to. I can't do that much from here. It's just try to give some new ideas, new thoughts. And Otter's been around most of those guys for 6-7 years, and Drew's seen the younger come up, so they're going to handle a lot of that stuff. But it's been fun to poke around it and give us some ideas, and it's been fun to see them playing better, and hopefully they get out of this slump they're in there right now. But I've never watched that many St. Louis Blues games in my life. I can tell you that.
Otter's like, hey, remember when we were on the power play and you'd give me the puck here in this situation? Let's draw that play up. Me, you, and Madonna, on the ice together.
Zuby.
Otter was only in one place.
Were you ever like, Otter, stay out of the penalty box?
Yeah, exactly.
Although he was there, he had your back though, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like Coletta doing. I don't know. Was that? Were you in Dallas when Coletta? Were you in New York? I think when Coletta hit.
Was New York.
Behind. You ever run into him
in Dallas?
Yeah.
Clutterbuck got me in Dallas pretty good.
Clutterbuck and Otter fought him right afterwards.
But that was totally I thought I was playing an all-star game at that point. I don't know what I was doing. My head was down so bad.
Hey, the Coletta hit from behind though, man. Yeah, that looked like that. He caught Korea one time too.
Couldn't breathe for a while. I think my spinal cord was like an accordion or whatever you call it. Everything just went.
Oh my God!
Did you have played another year? Like, why'd you retire? Was your body banged up?
No, I was talking to a couple teams. I think the biggest thing I talked to New York a little bit, and we still had my wife was pregnant with our second child. She moved. We went to Chicago. She moved to Chicago with me and had a baby 3 weeks into training camp. New doctors. So it's going to be pretty much the same time. I don't know why we kept having babies during training camp, but that was what we were doing. But so it was pretty much going to be the same thing. So moving again. So I asked my agent and I talked to New York a little bit to see if there was a fit there, and there wasn't. So I was like, if I can't go back there, we have a place there. We know our doctors. So yeah, it was kind of like I was lucky enough to win, moving again, my family, and have another baby in a new town for one more year. If I had never won a cup, I probably would have chased that. But
yeah,
it's kind of had a good run, and I kind of always thought going out when you can still play was a little better than when you're in the stands for half a year or not playing, or then you just get grumpy and pissed off, and then you're not a good teammate and all that stuff. So
you made a little bit of coin too. You made a little bit of coin.
You're okay.
You're all right. Good for you, man.
We thought you were going to be a model anyway.
No shit.
The ESPN nude edition.
Hand model.
Cam has your pictures.
My wife has your picture up on the wall in our room.
How that?
What was that all
They
about?
pay you for that? Like who comes to you and says, "Hey, listen, we think you be a good person to pose nude in ESPN the magazine." Like,
Yeah.
how do you get asked to
Hell
do
yeah.
that? Because
someone with the Rangers did it, but I'll tell you a real story. Is I went to do it and I kind of freaked out. To be honest, it was very uncomfortable. Well, you're wearing like I don't know what it is, something like this little skin colored thong or something. I don't know what it is, but they're like spraying your hair and they're doing all this stuff, and I kind of like just froze and I didn't want to do it. And they're like, no, we know, we worked with tons of, we know we got a beer full of fridge full of beer over here, so we'll leave you alone. Drink some beer. There's some wine. Like, you need to kind of loosen up. So I'm over the corner with a couple other people. Like, we're having some beers and trying to loot. You can tell they're trying to like get me to loosen up. So finally, but after the beer, you bloated, so you got to go do some sit-ups and push-ups for a while before you.
I was gonna say. I was gonna say I don't want to drink beer before I get nude. That's
I was
great,
going to ask you
man.
how uncomfortable that was, man. Like, how many people are
It
in the
was,
room?
I don't know. It was one of those where like, why did I say yes to this like a month ago or whatever? I just thought, like, athletes from all sports going to do it. It doesn't really click that you're going to be like figuring out how to look like you're nude. You're not really nude, but you're kind of are nude. Yeah.
Did you get chirped by the boys?
Torts loved it. Yeah.
So the boys didn't chirp you today? Because I mean, guys in the locker room would have took that picture and posted it everywhere.
It probably came out in the summer or off season or something, because I don't remember any big. And Lundqvist was doing something like that every second day, so there's probably all the attention's on him. So.
Yeah,
he was like the centerfold.
Yeah, he is. Beautiful man, he is. Yeah. Hey, what about that time? It's pretty funny, man. Just looking up some of your shit, and like with Tom Sestito, who's a good dude. I play with his brother Timmy. But he's like chirping you from the bench, and you're just like, what the fuck? You're playing in a fucking, this is your fantasy game, man.
This is fantasy camp for you.
Fantasy camp for you. It's a good chirp, man. I got to give you credit for that. It was damn good.
Yeah. He wouldn't shut up, but he knew he was on HBO, so I think he was really playing it up. But
yeah, he was.
I know you had.
That's when we had the Road to the Winter Classic stuff. We were mic'd up all the time. So.
I remember that.
I know you had a Christmas party. I got to hear about your apartment in Manhattan, man. Like, how much did you enjoy like living the city life in New York? And how nice was that? What are you paying for parking at your Manhattan apartment?
Crazy. Yeah, crazy. I love Manhattan. It was fun. I mean, that time of your life when I went there single. You're not raising a family and all that stuff. It's a pretty special place to say you could live and get to play a sport you love. But yeah, there's it's hard though. There's tons of reasons why it's very hard to go there, and especially free agents, and it's hard to win there. And the team hasn't won many Stanley Cups. It's a grind. It's great and it looks great. You come in and you see all the stuff in the restaurants, but like you're living it every day. The traffic and getting to. I mean, me and Marty going to Stanley Cup Finals. We left like 4 hours before the game, and like literally had to get cops to come grab us out of a car service like 4 blocks because we couldn't get anywhere near, like, just the way the traffic started jamming up before, like, in the finals, and they had shows going on. So like it's just stuff like that. They're always unpredictable. So it's a grind, but then it's so special at the same time because it's New York City.
So how'd you meet your girl? I feel like you guys all go to like a modeling convention, like all the beautiful people, and you just mingle and you just pick out who you want. Like how'd you
I'll take that one.
You look good. So how'd you guys meet?
In a roundabout way, which is very random, but she doesn't know Sean Avery, but Sean Avery kind of got all this somehow. He asked me to go do something for her boss. Her kids were at a Knicks game. He said, my buddy is at whatever. He's at the Knicks game with his kids. He sees you. Would you mind signing some autographs for his kids? I did that. We exchanged numbers. And like a month later, he's like, I'm having a dinner. There's an Aussie. My girl's Australian. There's an Aussie girl that's single. She's kind of lonely. You should come have dinner with us. There's a bunch of people. It won't be awkward. We like that. And it didn't really go that well. She didn't really talk that much to me, and kind of like on purpose. And then, so I kept asking that guy if I could, if he could ever arrange another dinner where she might be around, and I'll try to do better next time. And but she just said, tell him we'll go together and have a coffee or something. That's how it started.
Wow,
So
she's from
Sean
Australia.
Avery,
Wow.
in a roundabout way, Sean Avery got that motion, but he doesn't really know that, but or know her, but that's how it all started.
All right. He does an awesome job, man, with his pie. He's funny, man. Like
Oh, he's
seeing him.
hilarious. Is she from the Outback? I'm guessing no.
She's not. No, she's not. Not from that. She's from Brisbane and Sydney, those areas. But,
Beautiful, actually.
Hey, how much did you love playing? You were so good in Dallas too, man. I remember like because you were in the same division as St. Louis, man. Like a couple years there, you put up monster numbers. You were unbelievable. I obviously carried you into your big contract you got from New York. But how much did you like playing there? It's kind of interesting, man. I was just thinking about that when you're talking about the disadvantages of playing in New York. How much like I would imagine Dallas is relatively easy. Like you think some of these teams like that
Dallas
makes a difference. Like they have it easy versus playing in like New. That's interesting how you put that.
Well, Dallas is. I think Dallas is great. Dallas would have been. So I got traded to Dallas. Tampa came to me and they were doing ownership, and I had a no move clause, and I didn't want to go, but new team, new owners are coming in, and it kind of like, and once you hear that they're going to do all this stuff and they don't want you, you kind of like, all right. So I got to pick Dallas because I wanted to play in Dallas. I thought it's a great city. I knew some people that loved it there, and they were really good when I went. In that year we went to the conference finals. But then, like a year into my time there, they're going through an ownership change, and we didn't make the playoffs 3 straight years. It was just kind of I loved it. Could have stayed there, but like I was starting to be almost 30, 31, and I hadn't been back to the playoffs for 3 years. Another ownership change, and that's when I was kind of like an original 6, good stable ownership. You're not worrying about can we afford this guy, or can we make this free agent move, or it was just kind of like I kind of really wanted that, and I wanted to be relevant and be on national TV. I started having those conversations with some older veterans that had played in those places, and that's kind of where it had nothing. Like Dallas was great, and we were playing in the playoffs every year. I probably would have been begging to sign there. Modano just left, and there was kind of a changing going on there too. So it just didn't. It had nothing to do with Dallas or just the city. It just didn't. I knew I only had so many more chances to win, and I felt like going back to a team with stable ownership and all that stuff was just kind of that's what I want to do.
Hey, you've won a lot of hardware, but when you win the Lady Bing, are you like, yes, I'm a gentleman, or are you like, oh, cool, fucking Lady Bing? Like what's your emotion like?
You got to be careful because you got to respect the NHL, and there's a lot of great players that have won it, and
of course,
I definitely can't say I'm above being a Lady Bing because I was getting 20 penalty minutes a year, so I can't say I was like some tough guy. But it was fun. It was fun to be just at the award show. I think I was runner up or something to two more, but and I'd always be like to my agent, do I have to go? Like, probably not going to win, or if I win, it's kind of weird. He's like, yeah, get your ass there. It's still a NHL trophy, and you got to respect the game. So it was great. I mean, there's a lot of great players that have won it. So
no doubt.
Hey,
listen, everyone who wins the Lady Bing pretty much is like an all-star.
No shit.
Talked to Ryan O'Reilly about it a few years ago when he won it, man. It's a hell of a looking trophy, man. All the trophies are great looking.
The name Lady in front of it, Lady Bing, is just a weird, how it goes off the tip of your tongue.
Yeah, I don't think anyone goes into the season being like, "Hey, I'm gonna win the Lady Bing this year." But if you win it, man, and they give it to you, listen, you look at the list of players who have won it. There's something to be said for that,
Take it.
But dude, all the hardware you won in junior, like what made your junior career so? I don't understand why you slid to the 3rd round. By the way, they already had Vinny. They're watching you play. I kind of like hinted at that earlier in our conversation. Why do you think you slid to the 3rd round and you won everything in junior, man, including the Memorial Cup, but all the individual awards too? Everything.
But I mean, that was most of that stuff was after the draft, which
I got you.
Which is great. My draft year, I was still growing. Like I said, I was, it was a lot of like, oh, he's getting points because I was actually playing left wing with Vinny a lot of that year.
Yeah.
Which I'm not a left winger, just the way it was. So when he left, I got back to my own position. And I was motivated because my best friend made the NHL. And I'm like, okay, well, I know I played with him. Like, I got to get bigger. I got to get stronger. And I went and trained with him in the summers in Montreal, and get a little more inside of what's going on in Tampa and what it's like to be in the NHL. So it just gave me that motivation, and I got cut pretty quick my 19-year-old year out of Tampa, and came home it was good. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. They didn't do it on purpose. It was all new people in there, and Rick Dudley and Steve Ludzik, and I think I was there for like 3.5 days, and I was like, well, what? They don't want me, and I got a chip in my shoulder, and I had a great year, and we ended up winning the Memorial Cup, and so it was a good team year, individual year, and it ended up getting me back, signed and back and played the next year, rookie year the next year. But so I think the draft is going to be relevant because that happened 3 years earlier, and I got my 18 and 19-year-old and junior where I kind of like really started to play a lot better and grow and get stronger.
What about the Hall of Fame? You expecting a call? And I know the points, man. Like, there's a lot of guys that have a ton of points that you kind of need to get into the Hall of Fame. But damn, you got over 100 playoff points. Like, are you expecting that?
I have no idea what the criteria. I think with all the different eras and all that stuff, I don't know how they do all that stuff. But it is what it is now. It'd be great to get that call, but I can't do anything more. I wish I had those 2 lockouts back. Maybe you could add your stats a little more.
No shit.
I know.
I'm writing an email for you, just so you know.
Especially those guys those guys. Listen, I hear from guys who retired with like 930 like games played, and they're like, I played through 2 lockouts.
No
shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And tore an ACL. So it's like, I missed a lot of
One
games.
of them, our team, we won the cup. It would have been nice to have another kick at it right away too. And
the
salary cap came in. We had to dismantle everything. So it was just forget about just individual, but the first lockout was more like we got gypped on the White House visit, all that stuff. Our ring ceremony, we had to do it in private, like the bowels of a hotel room because of the lockout. We weren't allowed to talk with the owners. Like, it's just all that stuff was more of a bummer with that lockout. And then by the time we came back, it was 2 years later, and salary cap. I mean, if you think of the salary cap was $39 million. Crazy to think about that.
Oh, I know.
It's hard to keep a team together.
Now they're on jet skis and like celebrating the Stanley Cup, just going crazy.
Partying at the White House, doing their shit.
Yeah. Hey, just describe before we let you go.
Yeah, man, you've been awesome, by the way.
You and Vinny, like, describe your friendship. Like, you guys ever like sit back and like you're just having a bottle of wine, like, damn, dude, can you believe like we played together when we were like kids? Then we played together in junior. Then we played together in the NHL. Like, it's just kind of crazy. Has anybody ever presented an idea to do a story on you guys?
I think there's a lot of stories on it. It probably gets nauseating for some people.
I mean movie.
Movie. You guys are movie stars, damn it.
Not a story. I've read lots of stories on it.
I want to see you on Netflix.
We played World Cup and Olympics together too. So like it was like kind of like for 14 years, pretty much you look around the room, he's going to be there. So it was pretty cool. But we're both. He's coaching his son, and I'm coaching mine. We're like, he's in Tampa. I'm on this side, but we probably see each other 4 or 5 times a winter for golf and hanging out. But we're so busy with the families, it's tough. But that'll all come when when all the kids get out of the house. We can reminisce a lot more. But yeah, we definitely have in the past. It's hard. It really is hard to believe that the trade from Tampa when him and Marty came and had lunch with me, but it was more Vinny. It was going to be like, okay, since we were 14, we're in the same organization, so this is it. So that was a little rough, but now it's just kind of we have such a good relationship. We can not talk to each other for a month and run at each other and hang, and everything's like we back when we were 14. So it's a good relationship.
Did you try to bring him to the Rangers after Marty got there? Okay, we need Vinny here now too. Can we get Vinny here?
He was in Philly, so that was no bueno there.
Does he have gator arms when it comes to like picking up tabs? I'm sorry, we've had a bunch of guys on that said that. So
have you heard that?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not running out of money, that's for sure.
All right. Hey, what was Iginla like to deal with in that final, by the way? Like, how good was he as a player?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's not many finals, I don't think, anymore anyway, and that was probably one where it was kind of I don't want to say a one man, but it was kind of a one man like offensive show. You had Kiprusoff, and they had a really structured team. But most teams have 2 or 3 guys, 4 guys, stuff like that. It just wasn't. You get into the series and you're like, oh, we're going to beat these guys. Like you look at their power play and all that, but he was the engine. And luckily we just had a little more gas at the end. But they were such a well-structured team. They really did that. And that the same coach had LA. Just LA had more talent. They had Doughty and they had Kopitar and they had Carter and they had Williams, and they just had more weapons, I think, and quick and all that stuff. So
Gaborik wasn't Gaborik on that team?
Yeah,
maybe?
Gaborik on the second team. Yeah. So it was kind of unusual to see. They had other good players, but it was a lot more. I felt like they had a first line, and then they had 4 third lines that were just going to grind you. And like Cam said, you could just sit on each other's shoulders going up and down the ice. So it played into their hands a little bit, but you could really shut it down.
Yeah, you guys were so damn good.
Man.
I was going to ask you one other. The Conn Smythe, is that are you most proud of that trophy? Of everything you've won outside of the Stanley Cup, is that what you're most proud of, winning the Conn Smythe?
Yeah, for sure. Anything individually, yes, that would be. And I mean, for one reason, you probably won a cup, so it had to be a good run. I know there's a couple of people that won it without, but for me, you win. So you're finishing the season winning, and that means you played a big part in that. So, but I think, as there's Javi Bullen had an unbelievable playoff. Marty, there's lots of good players, but it was a fun 2 months. You get on a roll, you get hot, and things are just going, and then top it off with a win. It's a pretty special trophy.
All right, go watch some power play. You got to break down some power play. You got
to get on that.
You got film to watch.
They play tonight, against McDavid.
Hey, you got to stay up late tonight.
I'm more worried about their PK tonight, not their power play.
No shit.
Yeah, there you go.
No
there
shit.
You go.
Brad,
McDavid.
You're the man, dude.
Yep.
You're the man.
All the best to
you
you and your kids too, man, and your son and everything.
Thanks for having me on,
Good luck
guys.
to you.
Take care.
See you, buddy.
Well.
See you, Richie.
Bye.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Brad. The Chemistry Podcast is brought to you by Bellman. BEHLMANN. Bellman Automotive. Located where?
Troy,
Missouri. Buick GMC on one side of the street. Right on the other side, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Get yourself some new wheels in time for the winter. All right, that was Brad Richards on the Chemistry Podcast.
Hell yeah. He was great.
Very cool, man. Very confident.
Well, yeah. You made that kind of money, dude. You had that much success.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, he's chilling.
Chilling.
He's probably just like, I'm watching my kid.
Yeah.
I mean, like just living a life.
He's got daughters too.
Beautiful family.
Doing their thing.
Good for him.
They play country club sports, he said. Tennis, golf.
Yeah.
Tennis is a great.
Yeah.
I want to start playing tennis, actually.
I like my daughter. If I had a daughter, I'd like her to get into golf. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
If you're in a big tournament somewhere, like a scramble for like a big event, and you see a woman go up there and bang one, you're like, whoa.
Really?
Yeah, all the guys, everybody's like, a big dick on the course, like, hey. And all of a sudden a woman goes out there and lays one out.
Yeah, I don't always react like that when I see that, but
I'm just saying, like, it puts them in their low. Like, everybody's cocky out there, so sometimes it's cool to see. And like, they're playing from up to.
I'll tell you this: when I see women that are really into golf and play golf, I'm like amazed by it. Because I'm like,
actually
dude,
turns
like
me
my
on.
wife.
It's sexy, dude.
It's just I can't see her ever like getting into golf.
It's sexy to me. Women's basketball, not so much. No big deal.
Caitlin is.
Sexy's not it. She's a great athlete. No. It's all good. No big deal.
And BG is too.
Okay, but my point is, when a woman is really good at basketball, to me, it's not sexy. Tied into athleticism. In golf, it is. I know it sounds weird,
Cheryl
but
Swoops.
I'm just saying, lovely person, all good. But when a woman's good at golf, dude, like it's like fuck.
Dawn Staley.
And all the men are like that aren't that good. That think they're good. And they see that, they're like, dude, that's fucking.
Sue
badass.
Bird.
Just saying. I know some of you all agree with me on that.
Brianna Stewart.
What?
Brianna Stewart.
Lovely woman. They're all great. It's just
she can go to her right or her left.
Yeah, I know. In the middle.
She's got a low post game. She has a outside game. She can take you away from
Don't
the
waste
basket.
people's time. Yoink.
She can beat you off the dribble.
You need something to talk about? You good?
No, but
Dude, we both look like shit.
dude, I look terrible. I
Fuck,
apologize.
my eyes are fucked up
I
too.
hope my women fans are not watching
No,
today.
I know. The sex appeal just went down a little bit.
Because like ladies,
Just a little bit.
you got to know it's allergy season.
It is
I
my
might have to
allergies
put
are
my
fucked up.
glasses on for the rest
Dude, I
of the
told you
way.
the other day. I got chirped for that the other day.
For wearing glasses.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, sometimes my eyes look fucking beat up. But dude, if I have these like little things, if I get really like sneezy and itchy on my nose
Yeah.
and I go like this, blop, 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 it'll cut my nose
Yeah.
and bleed out
Dude.
to where you look like a fucking cokehead weirdo.
Like Claude Lemieux. Like
it's not
like
from your nose. It's like a little like thing on the side.
He's
I'm
a
like,
cutter.
fuck. Yeah, can't do that. You know what I
Remember
mean?
Claude Lemieux said he was a cutter.
Yeah, his face was and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some guys are, some guys aren't. I didn't cut easy, but I've gotten cut big time.
You got cut easy when Darcy Tucker hit you with his helmet.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
Cut
It wasn't even that. It didn't affect me that much.
I'd cut you open. If
You gotta wear shoulder pads,
you're
buddy.
lucky we didn't throw down.
Mm. You gotta wear some shoulder pads.
Chaser's lucky we didn't throw down that one time too.
Chaser's doing good, man. I see him making his rounds. I told you guys about that event April 5th. Check that
Is
out.
that when
by
it
the
is?
way.
April 5th?
Puck Cancer is
Yeah.
what it's called.
I'm
There'll be a
gonna-
party
I'm gonna
at
head out
Centene.
for that.
So look it up online.
And it's great that he is doing better, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Shit, he said he talked to Twister was there all the time, helping him, trying to sneak him out, and his wife got pissed. Like
Yeah.
he's talking to
It's a true story. I heard all about that
yeah.
when it happened.
Lance Armstrong talked to him and stuff like that.
Really?
He's got a big Rolodex when it comes to stuff like that.
Well, here's what it is. He knows people who then know people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, everybody's affected by it somehow.
Like if you
right?
know Gretzky and you're tight with Gretzky,
Oh, it's endless.
his reach is endless.
Yeah.
If you know Sean Payton, who's a super successful NFL head coach,
Yeah.
his reach is beyond anything you'd ever be able to reach. So they're able to probably say, hey, listen, call my buddy who's dealing with some stuff, man.
The big thing I got away with is, listen to him, is, dude, St. Louis has some nice hospitals, dude.
Oh, dude.
Big
the
time.
best. Cancer
Hey,
treatment,
Hell yeah. If you, heart,
they come here for all over the world.
100%. We chirp.
Children's Hospital,
Yes. If we chirp St. Louis about a lot of stuff, crime. Hey, way too much crime. No big deal. We just have to let you know. There's too much crime. And I think a lot of people could agree with that. But as far as getting help, hospitals,
Mhm.
and now, don't get me wrong, COVID fucked a lot of things up with different stuff as far as how many, just weirdness going on with it. But they have a lot of options
Yeah, they
in
do.
St. Louis.
they do.
You have a lot of options.
Mm-hmm.
You do. Whatever you need, man.
Yeah,
they
but
got it.
I couldn't be happier for Chaser and his family, dude.
Yeah, I know.
That he is, in position to be able to kind of get going again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Pretty hardcore, man.
Feeling better.
Pretty hardcore.
But Brad Richards, getting back to him, it's kind of crazy, man. Could you imagine playing with a teammate at like 13, 14, becoming best friends?
Yeah.
That's amazing how life just puts you in certain situations. Goes all the way to Saskatchewan,
Oh, yeah.
where my people are at.
Mhm.
I'll give a shout out to
The
all my
hardworking
people in
people right there.
Saskatchewan, all the shit kickers out there. Man, I
Bet
haven't
it's still
talked to you in a
cold.
little while. We haven't addressed them.
I know. I bet you it's still
recently.
cold. Manitoba, Alberta.
Say hi to all the shit kickers.
Yeah, what's
They're
up,
driving
guys?
trucks right now.
No, they're still grinding up there, dude. It's so nice here, by the way, all y'all up there, man. I get messages from you guys
we
all day.
have not talked to them recently.
I'm just saying, I don't know how your winter was, but if it was as mild as it was here,
yeah.
good for you. Hopefully
Yeah.
you got some good work done.
Yeah.
Fucking making sure
Listen,
everything's fucking good to go.
I talk to them a lot. So all my people out there, we have a lot in common. So I just want to make sure that they know
It's
that
been
we're still
nice and
thinking
warm
about
here
them.
this winter in
All right,
St.
so all
Louis.
my people in Saskatchewan. So this guy goes all the way out to Saskatchewan to play hockey, and
Yeah.
his roommate just happens to be this other kid that gets there. His name's Vinny Lecavier,
Yeah.
14 years old. They quickly become good friends, turns into best friends.
Mhm.
One guy leaves to go play junior in the Quebec League. Oh, and then the next year, the same team brings the other kid to go play in the Quebec League. Well, now they're teaming up in the Quebec League, dominating. One guy leaves, becomes the first overall pick in the NHL draft. And then the next year, the other guy gets drafted by the same team in the NHL.
Yeah.
And then they end up playing in the NHL together, and they win a Stanley Cup together and become NHL legends together.
And played for Team Canada together?
I don't know if they played on the same team for Team Canada or not.
I think
Probably.
you mentioned something like that, too. There's
Probably
other
so.
little events, too.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty cool connection, man. It
Probably
is.
so.
You know, two different kind of players. Like, Vinny Lecavalier was way bigger, more explosive. Brad Richards just kind of crept around and did his thing. You know
Crafty.
what I mean? Crafty,
super skilled, great passer, great hands.
Smart. You know, Cavalier would, like, drive in that, like, when he's lefty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool. Man, he was cool. Like, again, like, I look at he just did well for himself. If I was in his position, I'd be doing the same thing as what he's doing.
He played with some great players, too. You know,
he has.
You look at who he played with in New York. Wasn't there very long, had to be bought out. John Tortorella's scratching him in the playoffs.
Yeah.
When he's making all
Pumped
that
his tires
money.
up, though.
He did. When he's making all that money. And, you know, prior to that, he went to Dallas, you know, and that's where he got the big contract. He had a career year in Dallas where he put up like 90-plus points.
Got that lady banger.
In Dallas?
I don't know.
Oh.
But he got some trophies. He's got a lot of trophies.
Dude, he's got a shit ton of trophies.
I know.
I want to see his trophy case. But in Chicago, dude, then he goes there and wins a cup with Kane and Taves and Seabrook and Keith.
It was a big part of that, too.
Big part of it.
Playing with the Sod Dog and Kaner. Made that big play we talked about.
Yeah, pass.
Yeah, it was an awesome pass. He's waiting.
Waited.
Dude, that was a sick pass. Like, watch that in slow motion. He's not even looking at Kaner.
One-timer, too.
And he had to sneak it right under the stick.
Last second, though. Most guys, you would say,
that game was over then.
Yeah.
That game was over then. Up 2-0 with 3 minutes to go. That's over. At home, Kaner does that thing. Sick.
I remember when he was a UFA, and it was July 1st, and he was like the number one player on the market. And, you know, at that time, you know, I was like knee deep into free agency. I loved covering it. And I just remember like all the Canadian media camped out in front of the Newport studios and covering this like it's never been covered before, Cam. Like, where's Brad Richards going to sign? He's behind us inside this building. He's in there.
No, he was a super.
He's
he was
in
Elvis,
there.
dude.
And he was like, wait, pump the brakes. I don't know where I want to sign. I want to go visit some teams. I need to talk to my family. You guys are going to have to wait. And it took a couple of days. And I remember getting a little tip that he was going to sign in New York, and I put that out there. Before he actually, that day, it was officially announced that he signed with the Rangers. So the Rangers were getting like all the most expensive players.
Well, he said he was going to go to L.A. too. So
Toronto, I think had some interest.
He was looking around. He's like, "No, I'm going to take my time."
But he didn't know anybody in L.A.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know where they practice. I don't know where they live.
Well,
I got to go check that out.
You could figure that out.
You wouldn't want to go check that out first?
I mean, of course, if I had time, but it's L.A. You know what I mean?
What does that mean?
Just means that you're in a different, like if you're looking
don't you want to know where people live?
Yeah.
Versus like the practice rink, how long does it take to go there? Where do your kids go to school?
With that, yeah, I would. But you're going to New York, it's just the same kind of shit.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you want? Do you want to be in the beach, or you want to be in a crazy city with crazy weather?
Good question.
Both traffic, both craziness.
Right.
It's going to be a different level. Yeah. But as far as getting to the practice rink, it takes a long time. And he even talked about that.
Firstform.com, baby.
Yeah.
Firstform.com/Cam and Strick. Use our link. Tell them, please.
Use our link. Check out all the stuff they have. Andy needs to do the vitamins and stuff like that when he get home. Like, the thing is, like, First Form will make him healthy again. Yeah. And I'm kind of goofy, too, man. Yeah. I'm all, like, sneezing and shit.
It's allergies, man.
It's not good.
You don't understand. Like,
you sound
when
worse
it goes
than me.
from, like, 40 to 70, like, every day, I don't know what's going on.
Crazy stuff. It's cold. It's hot. It's weird.
Yeah.
But First Form will make you better and make you feel better and give you energy. Check the level 1 out. I love getting up and I get hydrated right off the bat with my mango, baby. I got the mango hydration, little powder, like yoink, bang, 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Then I do the level 1 with some frozen fruit. And he's like, don't have fruit. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll put meat in that mug too. I don't give a shit. I'll put some milk in that bad boy. You keep doing this too. What's wrong?
Dude.
You're funny, dude. I'm sorry. I can't stop it. Anyway, I have this nice system down. It coats my stomach up. Not to mention the clothes they have.
Yeah.
I'm rocking it right here.
I'm rocking
baby.
it right
What's
here
up?
too.
What's up?
And I look very
Feeling good,
athletic.
Andy. You're gonna feel good. You gotta get home and get some shit
Yeah,
done.
I know I do.
You know.
Get some something warm fluids or something.
Damn, boy.
Yeah, I'll be all right.
You gotta
dude.
get up, man. We gotta entertain people. We got a
fight-
little bit left
Hey,
here.
listen.
Let's go.
I fight through it.
No,
you
you
know
have
that.
to. Come on, let's
Firstform.com/Cam
go.
and Strick. Get these energy drinks, man.
Yeah,
Keep up the energy.
you need one.
I'm gonna pound one here in just a
go.
couple of minutes.
No shit.
Can't wait. Hatlaunch.com, baby.
I can't wait to see our new logo and all that stuff coming out. Hats
Oh,
fit
yeah.
perfectly. They'll make them quick for you. They do a damn good job. Supporting St. Louis, by the way. They came to me after a nice event. What event was it? God, I did something where I went up there and spoke, and I came out and he made me a hat right there
Really?
with my name
Oh,
on it. I
yeah,
told
they
you
can,
that.
do
Yeah.
that.
That's where I met them.
I remember
They're all
that.
cool. I'm like, what's up, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Cam had him put on his hat because every hat has a story. Every brand has a story. He had him put Jansen 55 on his own hat that he wears around town. You should wear that wear that. Why didn't you wear
I
it
thought
today?
that was cool.
Why didn't you wear it today?
Because I need to wear a black hat to go with my black shirt. I need more hats
Yeah,
and
you do.
color scheme. If I'm gonna hide my head, I need to match a little bit.
Yeah, I got you.
So I don't get chirped. I wore glasses the other day, got chirped.
Right.
Don't blame me though. They say I look like a Hoosier. I'm
This
like, I
is
am a Hoosier.
America's go-to source for headwear.
Damn right. Let's go then. baby.
Hatlaunch.com, baby. Welcome to the team, man.
Welcome
Great
to
to
the
have
team.
you. Go to their website, browse around, and all you business owners out there, man, let's hook up some hats, man. No better place to get hats. Affordable, customize your packages how you want to do it, and create the look that you're looking for.
Damn right.
Allow custom hat to represent your brand story, like Jansen 55 that he got on his. IRC, baby, Illinois Recovery Center, 888-743-0971, Cam.
Hey, they're helping a lot of people, and they can help a lot more people. There's a bed waiting for you. Nice, comfy bed, too, by the way. Check it out. Chrissy Pondoff, Eric Conley, running a nice ship over there, man. Not an easy thing to do.
It's not easy.
A lot of patients coming in and out.
And it takes a lot of patience.
It's not, yeah, gosh, yes, it does.
And heart.
But you could tell whenever somebody's ready to get out of there, how happy they are. They're a new soul. Check it out. Go to their website, IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com. Have any questions, let me know. Got my DMs open with all that stuff. I don't care where you're from. Let me know.
Let me know.
Maybe
too.
I'll have to talk to you. Like, I'll do that.
Yeah. And again, like I said before, it may not be you that needs help. It may be somebody you know that
Yeah,
needs
it's your
help.
buddy,
and
it's
you
your
don't know
cousin,
how to approach
your
it.
dad, your mom, your sister.
So they can help you out with that again. So
Love
again,
all you guys.
Bellman.com. Cam at Bellman, you get no.
Swinging dicks.
Hey, check out all the vehicles they have right now. Everybody gets approved no matter how bad your
That's right.
your
Credit score is.
Hey,
Don't
easy
shit can fuck your credit
embarrassed by
score up,
that.
man. Don't feel bad about that.
Buick GMC on one side of the street, the other side, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Cam, they've
right.
got something for everybody.
They do.
And they give you sushi and flavored water. Like, it's amazing experience, amazing environment. Say hi to the people in Saskatchewan again. I feel like we
What's
have
up,
not
guys?
been talking
And girls
to them.
up there working their ass off. Hopefully the weather was somewhat
What do
warm.
you think they're doing right now?
Checking the fucking fence line, Andy.
Yeah.
Checking the fence line. Maybe there's something like they gotta fucking take the barbed wire and like wrap it up, like stuff that me and you just can't do.
Right.
And if I can't do it, you certainly can't. Like, do you have those big ass barbed wire gloves on so you don't get tangled up?
I could probably do it.
You know, maybe some livestock got out. Maybe you're trying to find some horses or cattle that went through that little seam that was open.
Yeah.
That maybe some trespassers came through. Maybe you're worried about somebody stealing your cattle. Maybe there's no rain up there. Maybe it's too warm. Maybe, who knows? It's every day. It could be something different. Maybe it flooded,
Yeah.
you know, and then wiped out a lot of shit in your farmland.
Mm-hmm.
We got it pretty easy. Me and you are fancy lads, dude.
Hellman.com,
I grew up hardcore.
baby.
So did you, as far as like growing up doing our thing. Like, we earned this, but there's some guys out there and girls that are doing some hardcore shit, man. I love it.
Subscribe to all our
Love it.
social media channels.
Absolutely.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok.
All that stuff.
And comment.
YouTube, just
Give us a
comment.
5-star rating.
Yeah, hook us up
Half
with the rating
Coast
stuff.
Studios, baby. Alex,
Coast.
Maddie, everybody.
Maddie, what's up, baby?
Brody,
Yeah, Brody,
Jason, Amos, Steven, everybody, man. All our
Awesome.
social media team doing incredible work. And again, welcome to the team, Hat Launch.
Hat Launch, baby.
Danny Boy, everybody, all
Love you
those guys, man. And hope you
Enjoy
enjoyed
Brad
this
Richards.
episode. Brad Richards, thanks for coming on
See you,
as
dudes.
well. Yoink.